Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are going to be continuing here as Paraguay, and the first action is going to be something we discussed at the end of last stream, which is we are going to be giving this little snippet of land to Argentina so that our Argentinian subject can colonize, so that they can make use of their monopoly on the interest in kind of the Mapuche down into here region, so that we can make sure that we get all of it, and so we are just going to kind of give it to them. We're also going to give them an obligation, which they won't really be able to make very good use of, but here we have, now that they have a contiguous border to their capital, they will be able to colonize. It is unfortunate. We are giving away some gold. That always hurts, but, you know, the truth hurts. So we will be continuing with that. Now, if I recall correctly, the UK was really kind of interested in putting their finger in our pie, generally speaking, for a lot of the things that we wanted to do. And so we will be a little bit careful about trying to play around them and mainly looking to start plays. After the UK starts a play, we will be kind of, even though they're protective, what we will be doing is we will be joining on their side of the play so that they can't join against us, and then looking to have a little bit of a rampage through kind of getting the rest of South America, which might not even be optimal at this point, because we'd probably prefer Persia. We might even go for Persia too, yeah. Let's take a look at our market. Let's see Paul Allen's market. Ooh, it's the British market. I had forgotten that we're still in the British market. Okay. Well, it does look like Portugal's in there. I don't think they're our subject. We get the loud dogs outside, which is not the usual. But yeah, Tripoli is our subject. Good amount of oil that appears there later. And so that'll be good for us. And I think we're ready to go here and be off on our way. It's always when we play this run once a week, it's always a little bit disorienting when we load it back up, because I can't remember exactly where we left off on, but we're gonna do our best. I think we do want to improve relations with Brazil. We probably should have had them be one of our people we're improving relations with. We're cheesing the Paraguayan nation, in the sense that we are getting negative progress in this from having really bad prestige, or we are avoiding positive progress from having bad prestige, which we are artificially deflating with our influence so that we can decay this out, so that we have the dream of forming the mega country, which I'm not even sure if Paraguay can do, but if we are going to do it, we do need to do it that way. So let's take a look at the trade unionists, who are not always... I mean, we would love to demarginalize the trade unionists. Let's take a look at our laws real quick, too. I don't think we're passing one right now, which suggests that we like our laws a lot. We didn't want to pass professional army, even though a lot of people like it, because, well, we would want it long-term, but the reason we don't want to pass it is because our armed forces are really bad, and we have this event chain where if we keep them, like, with a decent amount of power, they seize power, and we hate this El Jefe, El Buen Jefe. We don't like it. We no like the El Buen Jefe, because we would much rather have the offense-defense than the 10% authority, and this is what we have. And we don't want to have a super strong armed forces for the rest of all time, unless we maybe go technocracy. I'm kind of bullish on technocracy. We also haven't experimented with it as much as I'd like. I mean, the landowners don't like it, and the Catholic Church doesn't like it, but the landowners don't really have anything to say about anything, huh? And we no longer have the thematic president. We could go laissez-faire. I don't think we have enough construction to really want to do this, and I think it's now kind of a function of construction. We could go poor laws. Don't actually hate poor laws a super ton. We don't have very many unemployed anyways. But often... Ooh, actually, I think we just go guaranteed libs, no? This will make the church the petite bourgeoisie, who I think is already marginalized anyways. A few guys unhappy, but I don't think... We don't have an enormous amount of radicals in our country anyways. I don't think this provokes a rev. And we would prefer guaranteed libs to secret police. Hey, climate change is coming. How's it going? What a name. Cool game. Any advice for the current game playing as Bhutan, trying to replace Qing, wanting to join the British market since I'm isolationist? I can't. Also can't develop my country fast enough. You want to conquer all of Qing as Bhutan? I don't even know where Bhutan is. Someone give this guy a map. I would suggest... Is Bornu always there? I would suggest that you probably need to... It would be really easy for you to replay the first 3 years very, very aggressively if you want to break up Qing, and try and get a role where there is a Heavenly Kingdom and a Great Qing. They are really weak and easy to kind of pry apart if this happens, and what I mean by that is you want the Heavenly Kingdom revolution to pop, but you don't want it to fully resolve, and so you want to be left with half Great Qing, half Heavenly Kingdom, and that's what I would suggest. South American countries can invite agitators, 90% of them. We'll take a look. Did you get the Game of Thrones reference? Salute was the Game of Thrones reference? Climate change? Oh, I get it. Well, I mean, I also think... Yeah. I mean, for some places, winter is coming as a consequence of climate change, but... The climate change is a semi-incendiary topic, I think. Semi. But I read a book on climate change. I mean, we could move towards homesteading. To be fair, we actually wouldn't hate monarchy, which is kind of an interesting situation because we don't like El Jefe, presidential republic, and it's pretty hard for us to get off of this, but we would prefer monarchy into parliamentary republic type of thing. Or we could just eventually get council. I think we're eventually just going to get council is how we're going to handle this. Age of Caudillos, which of course this is the event. If it's completed, we lose the Caudillos ideology, which is, kind of really not one we're a huge fan of, because this even makes it harder for us to get off presidential. The last Caudillos. I think this is, yeah, the first clenches. Extra armed forces, pop attraction is, like, not what we're about, to be honest. And so we're trying to kill this progress, but we can't really that well. Let's see. They're not in government. We want census or universal. I guess we want to make a move towards census or universal suffrage a little bit more aggressively than normal because of this. We're starting to get a good amount of money here, though. So I think that... Oh, it's so awkward that this will be isolated in some situations. We will just build up more construction. And it's pretty nice. We have the capital, we have Santiago, which does have nice resources, and it's going to have really, really profitable boom booms once they get employed up, if they can get employed up. I think that we're having some problems with the migration, to be honest. Yeah, this is gonna be a problem here as well. Just having enough pops to actually employ up these things. We're gonna need to get a lot of non-discriminated migrants, and then here we have negative migration attraction because of this gold mine depleted. Oh, we hates it. All right, so let's actually just put in another decree if we can. We're already greener grassing there. Man, that hurts. All right, we're gonna greener grass there too. And come back to here. This is to depress our prestige as much as possible for this. You really like the Q&A I did? I'm glad you liked it. We might do another one of those in the future. Probably not in the near future. Hey, Rusakov, how you doing? Kill progress. Paraguayan grind set, basically. We are getting out of guaranteed limbs, though. Big man, the absolute unit, large and in charge. What's better for packs, bench press or chest flies? Are you trying to get stronger or look bigger? Because those are two different goals. If you're trying to get stronger, definitely bench. If you're trying to look bigger, actually probably incline. rather than flat bench. But like you would want to do both. But like in terms of looking as big as possible in or out of his shirt, like nothing is really better than incline for most people. My pecs don't really look that big. And my bench isn't strong relative to my other lifts. Where do we have a ton of... Let's think through some... Where we have a bunch of peasants. I forgot how to pronounce the first half, but the second half is Marques. We got some education on that. I mean, I think that we're already auto-expanding here on both of these, and we identified, yeah. One problem is going to be qualifications here are going to be really rough. Bro, all the trade routes come through here too, which kind of sucks. We would rather they not go through there, because that's just going to increase all the migration attraction there. We could go after Oman. We also have a ton of stuff. I mean, also... Suppose if we wanted to fight Qing now would be not an insane time. We have these interests so that we can maybe join something against Qing, but holy shit. Thank you, Rusaka. What currency is that? CZK. I love you too, brother. Wowza. What is CZK? In terms of the currency. How do you move from monarchy to universal suffrage is most efficient? Is it worth going landed voting and then moving down the chain, or better to skip them and go directly down? It depends on how efficiently you can do law passes. That's a lot. Thank you so much. It depends how efficiency you can do law passes. If you're expecting to have a lot of laws you can pass usefully, it's better to try and skip a whole bunch. But if you're expecting to have lulls where you're not passing a lot of laws, it's generally better to go like landed or wealth into like census universal. So you see here we're gonna have like I don't provoke revs as often as is probably theoretically correct, because I think that the country should try and... This is actually like something I do that's probably a leak that's like more RP. I think you should just try and avoid revolutions rather than just fighting them. And so even though fighting them resets a whole bunch of radicals and there's like positive effects for like this type of stuff, but I think that so I like to not force revs, and so I'd be less likely to do something like this, even though this would help us actually do the journal entry, because it would allow us to spark a rev against the armed forces, and then when the armed forces, after we have this rev against the armed forces, right, they become super marginalized, and then we could suppress them, and this would probably work pretty well. We might even do that. We might pass professional army then, in that case, and then force a rev that the armed forces are on. Because if we pass professional army, what's going to happen... actually, it makes them super happy, though. What's going to happen if we get pro-army is we would be able to build up a really big army in the capital. To be fair, we have way more conscripts in the capital, so we might just be able to do this. But generally, I prefer doing it, and so... you could dodge a lot more revolutions and severely negatively impact the clout of the landowners by going landed voting first before you do anything else. Are we using any mods? No. Looks like Czech crowns. Czech crowns? It's Czech? Okay. Man, one of my favorite, dad joke puns is, to ask people, have you been to Prague? And then tell them they should check it out. Yeah. We do love the dad jokes on stream. Oh, we could give minus political strength to the armed forces? Let's go, baby. Sign us up. Yeah, we have a ton of infamy, though, so we can kind of just, for the most part, chill. I suppose we should, in theory, be really aggressively looking at if these guys are in the middle of a war, because if they're in the middle of a war, they're actually very unlikely to interfere with us. I was just thinking about this the other day, that, get some loud cars outside, I think that we really want to annex this for the Mappy States, or the Mappy State. Yeah, I was just thinking the other day that, like, it's also, like, a little bit contrived how if they're involved in, like, any war, people will really not like joining against you if they're involved in basically any war. We're also making sure we don't really want to be running any kind of interest, and so that's why we're kind of fine with being a little positive right now, because we are a minor power. I'm like very confident that being a deficit spending as a GP is correct. I'm not like 100% sure, but I do think it's correct. I'm kind of like 60-40 that doing it as a major power is correct. This is something I wish I could mathematically model better to like confirm or disprove my ideas. But I'm pretty sure that doing it as a minor power, you just can't do it because your interest rate's too bad. It's just too big of a problem. Reduce autonomy on them. But we grabbed Brunei. Yeah, we did. Oh, we grabbed this too. Ban slavery. Don't want to do that. So, usually the UK will not side against you if you go after stuff like this. Okay, we also got Jambi. Yeah, I think we'll continue to actually go after these guys. But usually the UK will not. If you're going after unrecognized powers, they're much less likely to go after you. It's specifically recognized powers that the AI, like, spazzes on. And so, El Jefe. Move these guys over. We get an Austrian in the chat. Bedak Scalper. Says greetings from a neighbor. Little region. Somebody on this planet just died. It do be like that. Chat can pour one out for the guy who didn't make it, except he might make it. You never know. We get a lot of wee-woos. Russia is just getting bodied here. Russia forgot to put people on the front, I think, is the kind of only situation where this happens. But I think that they also have decent PMs on there. This is, like, always a strange one, is because Qing, like, if you don't, like, get them in the first half, they'll get you in the second half. They become very hard to do anything against. Because, like, as soon as they swap line infantry, they swap everything line infantry. Which is a weird power break point, because they go from, like, being, like, you can just roll over them with almost anyone, to just, like, they roll over you. Although, to be fair, Russia should be doing better than this. Yep. Yeah, I'm excited for... I haven't started it yet, the Papal States run. I'm trying to collect meme ideas before it being, like, a Roman flavor run. I shouldn't spoil them, though. I was just thinking of some, like, before we started on the stream. What percentage of our income is minting? Like half? Bro, does that mean we're supposed to decrease taxes instead of increase construction here? So one thing is, like, we are out of labor in a lot of... So we have a decent number of peasants here, but they're in areas we don't really want to construct a lot, like here, where we could build more buildings, but they're not going to be able to employ up very effectively because of discrimination. Like, the main reason why these places can't employ is because qualification problems. If we come here, they should have no qualifications. If we scroll down, where does the qualifications thing happen? Bro, that feeling when you forget where stuff is in the UI. Oh, there it is. Okay. Didn't it used to be over here? At any rate, there's no qualifications here. So what will happen is if we just build something, it won't be able to employ up. And so it's not like we can de-peasant here, and that's like where a lot of our peasants are. And so maybe the construction is less valuable than reducing our tax level. especially like 1 to 2 notches. This should also go up as the economy gets stymied by it. So short term, it's like it's actually not down as much as it looks, and so come on, can we get this to come up? Yeah, there we go. I mean, it's not a lot, but we're just going to decrease it a couple notches with the idea that, okay, we get, one, we get a little bit more righteous here, but two, this is going to raise SOL. It'll take a little while because the pops that are consuming their basket of goods, what they'll need to do is they'll need to eat them all. And then once they eat them all, once they've been in excess for a while, then they move up, and so there's a lagging effect on SOL when you decrease taxes, but by lowering SOL, we are hoping to pull more migrants. Would really love to be able to get the Intelligentsia powerful as well. This would help out because we would be getting a doubled bonus for the propagandists, which is really, really strong if you're playing a New World country because you get a ton of base value. With our migration attraction, we have a ton of base value. Coming from unused arable land. So, and we have some of this in the thing. Let's go up to 11 there, and then we will go after Sandbus. Speaking of mathematical modeling, my favorite thing. I find it funny how the power plants and railways cause problems for private queue, and they break equilibrium prices. Yeah, it's like I don't know how to. It's like just so bad. Like I wish they would roll that back. I think that I really hate local prices. I feel bad about it because I think that local goods. I think services should be local, but I think that transportation and power plants being local has it's a better simulation. I 100% agree, but they haven't fixed that it's terrible gameplay, and it's been terrible gameplay for like now 4 to 5 months. It's like really, really obnoxious. It makes me not want to research electricity. Not to mention the PM for electricity, the basic, like the first one you get is absolutely like terrible, and so I think that you actually, like, kind of don't even... Ooh, we're supposed to do the things. I didn't realize we were slingshotting here. I guess we're in okay shape. But you, like, absolutely, positively, like... And then the electric streetlights is obscenely good. And so, like, it's this weird situation where, like... I think you, like, don't want to research electrical generation unless the next thing you're researching is steam turbine, to be honest. This might be the case. Like, the PM's really, really bad, and then, and it's not just because, like, this thing is, it's not worth researching. It's that, if you build one, then very often your entire private queue will burn all your infrastructure in the same place. And so it's the fact that your infrastructure is getting burned, in an obnoxious way. How about you puppet the Heavenly Kingdom as the Pope? The plan is actually to get off of being the Pope as quickly as possible. Like, as quickly as possible. We're gonna uber cheese getting off of it, because we're trying to do a Rome run. And we can't do a Rome run as the Pope. We gotta become the Empire of Rome. If you switch to Parliamentary Republic, you become a Roman Republic. I don't know if we're gonna switch to the Republic, and then switch to Monarchy. Just, for the maximum memes, but that, like, it would be a lot more difficult that way. Hey, does the Populate the Americas event work for you? It should. We don't have the, oh, where is it? We need to have civilizing mission researched. To be fair, that might be worth researching a little bit faster for just that event. And we could also juggle that. What we're doing right now is we are researching this up to kind of the breakpoint where if we kind of hover this one, we have to hover this one to look at the cost. If we research it to 1200, and then let the auto queue finish these texts, we will be like kind of maximally efficient, which is what we want to do because we don't have a lot of we're not super rich at this point, and so I don't want to burn money being inefficient on the innovation. Later on, when you're rich, you just burn as much money as possible being inefficient, but we're not living in that world yet. Russia's living in a kind of world, though. Personally, I'm not playing Victoria 3 until 1.6 optimizes and bug fixes the game, honestly. Too much frustrating. I 100% know what you're... I really hate this construction queue bug. And I wouldn't even hate if... Okay, we have a thing. We have a thing. We can join that. Which, let's take a look at strategic regions. Okay, so the USA is also going to be able to join. Yeah, USA, France. Man, everyone gets a ton of diplomatic interests as the game goes on. And so the question is could we tolerate, and we have cautious with the USA. USA is going to be very likely to join against us if we do anything kind of in South America. Now, Venezuela is actually not adjacent to us in terms of land. So we could fight Venezuela pretty easy. We could also go after New Granada in hopes of kind of getting them a little faster. With the idea being we join this play on the UK's side. And then if we are on the same side as the UK, we also have a ton of infamy, so we can just chill out too. If we're on the same side as the oh, we can't subjugate people because we're a minor power, because we're artificially depressing our thing for the Paraguayan nation. Patagonian natives continue to blah blah blah. We need civilizing mission. Conquest of the desert. We would want to improve relations with them. But we have no control while we're still trying to depress the thing. That's why we had actually conquered a bunch of this territory. Maybe we were supposed to just straight up take Pontiac. Why can't we... Oh, they're already our subject. That explains a lot. Java's got a ton of the pops. Let's do this, and then... Let's do that. Let's get our navy over there. But said event only gave you like 100k pop for a week, maybe. Well, what it does is it forces mass migration. So if you have more migration attraction, it'll be more effective. And it could give you a decent chunk of pops. Off topic, did you read the book Marcus Aurelius Meditations? Yes. What do I think about it? I think it's pretty good. It's pretty solid. I think it's the language is a little bit tough to get through. It has a lot of like really quotable sections though. Overall, it's pretty short. Now that's a cool anthem. That's actually not what we want because we want to keep our prestige depressed. So that's actually not a very cool anthem. One day we'll emerge as a global power. One day. Yeah, I think Meditations is pretty solid. I'm currently reading, although I haven't touched it in a little bit, so currently reading might not be the good one. Letters from a Stoic from Seneca, which I think I am enjoying more than Meditations. Although it's not an either-or thing, but both are Stoic philosophy. Yeah. Really want to get the armed forces, like, out of here. This guy being a jingoist is also probably our best opportunity to get, like, a pretty fast... We're getting mass migration to Paraguayan, Buenos Aires. Which is going to be good for us and the surrounding states, so... But you can see here, it's also the surrounding states. So now we're at like plus 100k. I don't know what it's up from. And plus 43k there. And so, unfortunately, this is the only adjacent state, but it's also helping the adjacent states, which is going to be good. It's also going to make us want to be a little bit more aggressive with using these PMs because we're out of labor so much. Except in Lorenco Marx, where it's not going to be worth it. This is one of the reasons we're also researching the Steam Donkey, so we can increase the average SOL, and we really, just in a general sense, are kind of struggling. We'll continue on that. We'll put in more things on Sulu so that they're more likely to back down. Now that trying to be a little bit more disciplined about waiting for at least half escalation before putting a bunch in. But yeah, I guess it's been a while since I've read Meditations. Like, if you're quote farming, I think Meditations is probably better than Letters from a Stoic, though. Letters from a Stoic's way longer. Maybe it's like tough to compare the two. I do think Marcus Aurelius' story is like really neat in that. So like you occupy this like Stoic philosophy where you think that you should only like concern yourself with things within your control, and it's a very, very kind of, let's say, Spartan type of way of looking at things, although Spartan's probably not the right word. It's a very like minimalistic kind of way of looking at things, and it's about recognizing how little of your life you control, which is like ironic for Marcus Aurelius, because Marcus Aurelius was probably, if you exclude the Emperor of China, he was probably the most powerful man on the planet at that point in time, that he was alive, because he was the Emperor of Rome. And so it's like this interesting thing where he's like, you know what, you really don't have that much control. And out of any human on Earth, except for maybe the Emperor of China at that time, he had more control, I think, over anything. So we might have to do some Marcus Aurelius quotes in the thing. I mean, eventually we want to go on a pro-army. I've been meaning to test out peasant levies to see if it's like... Peasant levies might be... It might be meta. I really don't know how bad this morale loss modifier is, but it's bad. But this is a free money modifier on minus military goods cost. And so we're not going to try it out for this run, but I've really been meaning to test this out more. And one thing is it's just kind of hard to compare the two. But morale loss is a pretty significant negative modifier. We don't care as much about the weekly experience. The political strength of aristocrats we don't care about as much. And this, like, it disallows the PMs specifically with the conscripts, but not with the, like, you could still have tanks, is my understanding, at this current point in time when they kind of changed it. So we're going to try and go professional army, though. Have you read The Little Prince? The Little Prince? You mean Machiavelli, just straight up The Prince? I have read The Prince. I was unimpressed. I thought The Prince was pretty bad. Not because it was, like, morally wrong. I just thought that the recommendations, or, like, the injunctions were just, like, pretty superficial. Ooh, what have we here? What have we here? Little bit of, inefficient PM action. Alright, we're at 7.7k. Don't want to accidentally research all the way, which is kind of one problem that we often, like, do in terms of the execution. Why don't we add a little bit of progress? Well, we'll just juggle back onto dynamite because we have less progress on that. And we'll hope that we just don't whiff it really hard. I think we'll be... Have we heard of James Berman's Unalivicide of the West? I have not. Have not heard of that one. Did you so Sticky Mouse, did you actually retract that message, or did you get bopped by YouTube for using the S word? I'm really curious if that was yeah. Have we ever considered the long Chile run? I'll see your long Chile run and I'll raise you a long Oregon run. we wanted to do organ and make our organ as long as possible because everyone knows it's better to have a long organ. No, I meant The Little Prince. Machiavelli parentheses was a joke. Oh, I haven't read The Little Prince. I've read The Prince. Just the OG. We have the Age of Cadillos. Our prestige is starting to get a little bit high, which is unfortunate. We do want to annex a little bit more stuff. I think that we kind of have enough territory that we're not going to fill the bar on the Paraguayan nation, which we don't want to. We're starting to get a lot. Oh, we get more from universities. This is why we weren't building universities before. That's like so silly. We don't want to fill the bar because we want to be able to do the things. We can't do the things if we fill the bar. The truth hurts. We're going to colonize that one. Is that our only colony? Rip to us if that's our only colony and we weren't making progress. No, we have some here. Yeah. We're trying to make some colonies to be able to trade to people later on down the road. Like we have, is that ours right there? Yeah, Paraguayan. South Cameroon, which we maybe can trade. Actually, can we trade? We'll see if we can trade that to either France or UK for Guyana. Or even Netherlands. We wouldn't mind trading to. Speaking of, we could put an interest in Senegal. Yeah, I think these interests aren't that useful. So let's put an interest in Senegal and try and do the things. That would have been great. Yeah, that's like one of the meme runs I want to do. Another one that I want to do is I'm not sure the best way to do it, but form India. And probably form India in the most pushed way possible, like just super cheesing, because what we want to do that follows that is conquer all of the United States except for leaving them in Oklahoma. That way it's like it's a reserve or a preserve, but we're returning it to Indian hands, as it were. Why suppressing prestige? Prestige gives us positive ticks on this, which makes it impossible for us to form the mega Spanish-speaking country. I'm not sure if we can form it anyways. I think Paraguay might be the one Spanish-speaking country that can't form it. But the mega, it makes it so that, here, let's see, does it say in here? Completing this journal entry will exclude Paraguay from pursuing greater pan-national ambitions. So this will prohibit us from forming the mega state that is all of these combined, and we would prefer to not prohibit ourselves from doing that. And so in order to not get us positive progress, we are suppressing prestige. What are the odds we can do anything here? Probably close to 0. Okay, so we wanted to see if we could maybe trade state with these guys. We cannot. And we're waiting for this interest to hit so we can colonize Mauritania, because we would like to trade Mauritania to the Netherlands for this. Probably going to have to owe them an obligation to do that, but that'll maybe work. The third in the series of princes? I'm really confused now. Unless you mean which episode of Paraguay is this, then yes, this is the third episode we've played Paraguay. There we go. Popular playwright. Just like the... we won it because we want to become a GP later. This is such an interesting one. I think we just... just getting all the prestige events. Okay. So this liberal rule probably loses, but I think what we'll do is when it's at like -30, we'll Dow on Bolivia. And we'll just hope our pie doesn't get thumbed by them. Or them. Or them. Yeah. It's pretty rough trying to declare on a recognized power at this point. I wish diplomacy had more opacity and, like, maneuvering. Because, like, we would want to proactively right now try and prevent some of this stuff from happening. It sucks that our relations with France are bad. It's because they have an interest everywhere, so as we accrue infamy, they start to get bad unless you have, like, a thing. Why do we have 28 million GDP? Stop making fun of our GDP. You should check out James Burnham's work. Great insight on elite theory and how the ruling class operates. Let's write James Burnham down. James Burnham. Can you still form a formable nation if you complete Paraguayan nation, since it changes your culture? I think that it prevents us from doing that, is the idea. So we don't want this journal to complete. We want this journal to stay open. Guy comes in chat immediately, makes fun of our GDP. The truth hurts. Should it be bigger by now? 30 years? I don't know. Ugh. You have like 10 minutes? How can I have so much construction capacity? For 160? We actually aren't even pushing construction as much as possible right now. We decided to lower taxes because I think our pops... Our trade unionists are out. Yeah! We got the trade unions. Solidarity got deactivated, which is unfortunate, but manufacturing industry's throughput and workforce ratio are both could be really good. Yeah, we're like out of pops though. Out of pops and out of time. So once this finishes natural spreading, that will significantly decrease the price on both of these, and so we'll be getting both of those kind of in a little bit. Is it possible to form a powerhouse state in Vicky 3 without war and colonization? Not really. Just through trade and diplomacy. Trade kind of sucks. Trade's like weaker than it should be. Because, I mean, it's still strong in some cases, but it's weak because of MAPI. And what is going on with the MAPI is that, so when I trade something, yeah, I'll influence price, but I'll only influence price for 85%, and this is both for me and the person I'm trading to. And so, because it's only partially influencing prices, it significantly depresses trade relative to, like, 1.4. And so, like, trade has just felt really bad. As has trying to, like, specialize with companies to be, like, relative to how it would have been. Like, you would have been able to just only build the one thing and, like, Uber export everything. But, like, it's not, like, operating like that. Love your content. Are you planning on streaming more Pal World? Probably. We actually I did some power leveling off stream on Pal World, and I think we're up to like level 43. Just by capturing a lot of Pokemon in low level areas. I mean, pals. Definitely not Pokemon. I'm curious to see if Nintendo does anything. I think that they don't have like legal grounds, but it like feels like they should. The British East India Company is popping off this run. Look at this. Oh, that's Great Britain. Fair enough. Did we subjugate Selangor? No, we didn't. We didn't get the huge of subjugating Selangor. I suppose we could reduce their autonomy here. We're very unlikely to get messed with. But maybe, I mean, we have enough infamy decaying. And I think we probably want to keep our war option open, actually, because of Bolivia. We just wish that the USA didn't hate us so much. Don't want to build way more boats because we are trying to get this down. But If we can reduce autonomy on anyone and they accept, we definitely want to, but I'm not sure that's the case. We should have eaten before stream. A rookie mistake was made. You can see SOL starting to climb now, because Pops have had some time with their excess. They also have lower excesses. They've had some time to grow in SOL, which is going to help migration. It really doesn't... It helps migration a whole lot less as a New World country, though, to be fair. Like, reducing taxes is way better when you don't already have a super baller... I guess we'll increase popularity because it's going to give us more authority because he's president. But when you don't already have a very strong flat modifier, because unused arable land we're getting plus 25, so our standard of living going up by a little bit is only increasing our, you know, this modifier here a little bit, and so, yeah. Gold's depleted in Transvaal. Oh no! Whatever will we do? We of course will select. We can't let them leave. And then we'll put some of this in the. Actually, we'll put all of it in the construction queue. Actually no, we'll put some of it. So because it won't all be able to employ up because of discrimination, anyways. And also, we would want. I think we would not mind if the automated queue picks up some of it. Just gonna keep juggling that back and forth. Probably would prefer to finish. Alright. So, the religious revolt is getting clapped. Okay. Maybe we take a save and we try and see if we can go after Bolivia. Pretty sure our pie gets fingered, though. Maybe we just shouldn't, because we are fairly confident that either France or USA joins against us here, and that we don't beat USA in a fight. I don't think we win this at all. I don't even think we're remotely close to winning that. And we definitely don't win that. But the thing is what we could do here is we can get up to major power anytime we want just by stopping negative floating this and stopping paying the low government wages. So at any point in time, we can just switch up to major and subjugate them here. To be fair, we do have more time anyways, but this would allow us to get Bolivia for less infamy because, here, let's see, if we make protectorate on them for 8.5 infamy, this is based off of, its base value of 2, right? And then multiplied by population of the target. And so, since the population is lower, because they currently don't have the liberal revolt, this would allow us, and it's only 400k lower, so maybe we don't care that much. But it would be like 2 or 3 less infamy, or something to this effect, going after Bolivia, and we'd be a little bit better. So yeah. Should I avoid going laissez-faire for Vicky 3 runs? What's the best option for the law in that category? The best option for the law before you get over like 6 to 800 million GDP is going to be laissez-faire under normal conditions. However, the construction queue is currently bugged. In that if the private queue gets control of any amount of the queue, it just takes maximum control, which under laissez-faire is 75%. So currently, if you're under like 1,000 construction, it's probably best to go interventionism, with some edge cases where it's not the case. Unalive Side of the West and the Managerial Relation by James Burnham. So did Sticky Mouse, did your thing get auto-bopped? Did your comment before get auto-bopped? Is that what had happened? Anything but traditionalism. Well, agrarianism's not that great for most countries. There's like some situations where agrarianism's like super good, but it's pretty narrow. I mean, see, I just wish I could send a letter to the USA or France and just ask, you know, theoretically, hypothetically, if we subjugated Bolivia, would you guys hypothetically have a problem, a hypothetical problem with that? Alright, we're just gonna take a save and peel it off and see if it works. But like, I'm hoping under spheres of influence, either post-declaration of the play, we will have some semblance of agency if they join against us to either sway them the other way or offer them something or something like this, or that there will be a lot more transparency in some of these plays. But it looks like France is not going to side. France is fighting in the Prussia thing, right? So they are very unlikely to join against us. So now it's just the USA. And so, okay, I guess we can, let's do it. Let's see, what do we have to get over? Can we just do it by this? Just doing that will kick us over. It will just barely be in major power, but we'll still be keeping this kind of low. So now we are in major power. What do you mean we can't protectorate these guys? We have a truce. I guess it doesn't matter anyways. Sag. Although I think we would, I think it's just based on our prestige, not our power rank, and we would rather be a major power than a minor. So I guess we should have been toggling that up and down. But let's do that. No, you took it down? I see. Not YouTube's. Yeah. I don't mind if you guys type it in chat, especially if it's like the title of a book, but I guess I don't want you promoting it. But I can't say it. Because otherwise then the algo will not appreciate. I will get punished by the algo god. That's unfortunate. One thing that's nice about not being in someone's market, like we are currently inside someone's market, is that you can get trade relationships with like everybody, including importantly France and the UK, and so it makes it easy to maintain good relations with them despite the fact that they have interests everywhere, and your accumulation of infamy will always be giving them negative relations, and so it's a little bit unfortunate on that front that we get the rivalry here. We are also starting to decay out of this minus prestige stuff, so I think what we're going to do is actually just go all the way. We will get the extra prestige here. Actually, no. Well, so the people we're improving relations with, a lot of them we'd prefer. Here, we're actually just gonna stop with some of these, because we would maybe even want to fight with some of these guys. So I guess we like these guys, and then we would rather not have negative relations. So let's see about forming rivalries. We can rival our subject in Chile, but we want to be able to reduce autonomy. We'll rival Java, because they're not going to be able to really do anything. We can rival Sardinia Piedmont, and two Sicilies, and Denmark. Now we have a bunch of extra. So, like, this intentional depressing of our thing has come at a cost. So let's try and get relations up with these guys. So if we have a defensive pact with the UK, unfortunately the way the game mechanics work is we will actually not be able to declare war on our subjects, which is silly. Generalist, I wish I was half as good as the game as you. You're awesome to watch. Thank you very much. All it takes is a bunch of hours. We will say no to that. Are there any story-driven games you really enjoy? I suppose games oriented around the Three Kingdoms period are more story than gameplay-based. And I like those, generally speaking, in a way that is not proportionate to how good they are. Like, Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14 is not a good game. Like, I would never argue it's a good game. It is the only game on Steam I have all the achievements for, which might provide a little bit of context. One nice thing about universities, they have also a really high wage multiplier, because academics have a wage multiplier of 4, which is like one of the highest, and they just employ a bunch of academics. And so in terms of raising your average SOL, it's like actually pretty good. I think that this effect's probably too mild for this to be like an intentional strategy, but it is a nice little side effect. Those are Pal Islands. Yeah. Just mainly been in chill mode for this. Chile, formerly known as South Andean, has experienced a wide cultural awakening, transitioning towards a distinct Chilean culture. We get this genesis of Chilean culture down there. Yeah, I think if we annex Ecuador, we will get our pie thumbed. Unfortunately. Can we trade states with either of these guys? Can we get Dutch Guyana for anything? No. Yeah, we can't offer them this yet, unfortunately, but we are hoping to eventually offer them this in exchange for Guyana here. France signs a peace deal, which makes it kind of lowers our window of opportunity. I think that we maybe have enough stuff, yeah, that we can kind of sit in here. We maybe want to start thinking about getting free from the British market as well. To that end, we would actually really love adjacencies with some people. So let's maybe start working on that. Absolutely wild that we see Central America not get wrecked and fall apart with this. I think this is the first time I've seen this. I really like your RP or more gold-based. Yeah, I think we're going to start moving in that direction more. For a long time, I felt that people preferred just the super min-maxy stuff, but, like, it all, like, looks exactly the same, so I can kind of appreciate more now that this is maybe people are less interested in this. Yeah, I think we can't go on a laissez-faire. I mean, maybe if we had, like, 500 construction, but it's a little bit rough. Another big thing about being a major power is it's going to give us more migration attraction relative. But we would still prefer... We can also deficit spend now, I think. Maybe we try and pop off a little here. The problem is that... we, like, don't have peasants, really. We have peasants in the one place where we have, like, a ton of discrimination, so we can't play up there anyways. I guess we have some peasants here where we had a mass migration movement. So we can maybe do something like this? I don't know. That's not going to be the best construction sector, though. It's not. Getting a bunch of rubber discovered. I mean, this is 1/3 finished now. So you'll see that we'll get, like, both of these techs basically simultaneously. Or very close to each other. Roma's Three Kingdoms be like that a lot. A ton of fun, but not always good. I don't know, is there a single Romance with Three Kingdoms game that, like, in the vacuum you would consider good? Maybe 10 was okay. Or, like, 8 for its time. I haven't played 8, though, so maybe I can't even talk. We would like to increase the health institution, and it's not that expensive. So let's actually get on that. Okay. It's gonna take forever for this portion of the queue to, like, get realized, but why don't we put one of those in the very front, and then once that comes in, we will be able to increase an institution by 1, and then once the other ones come through, maybe we can increase by another. Do you want to try and join the Russian market to help with immigration? That is one of the reasons we're trying to keep good relations with them. If they offer us to join their customs union instead, we will swap over. However, since we have subjects, we can't leave the UK's customs union and then ask to join Russia's. We have to wait for Russia to come to us. A little bit annoying. We also, like, if we became independent, we could try and curry their favor as well, but yeah. I think we have trade routes to them too, but I don't think these count for volume of trade considerations for them asking us to their customs union. And if you see we can't ask, but they would not accept. Oh, we are getting some modifier from volume of trade. I mean, maybe we could try and intentionally trade with them a little bit more, because we are running that route. We could try and do stuff like export from British market. Wow, that doesn't even make money. I think we have a lead company. Don't necessarily want to export coal. I think we're using a lot of the UK's coal, so us increasing the price of it isn't really that good for us. Can't profitably export that. Can we profitably export tools? We will be able to pop off on the tools front. But doesn't look like we can run too many trade routes profitably from them, other than the one we're already running. I guess maybe grain we could import. Yeah, we can. Alright. A little bit more volume of trade. Yeah, it'd probably be best for us to try and maximize the amount of trade. It's just it's tough when you're inside someone's customs union. Often they're affecting prices in such a way that it's a little bit difficult for you to do that. Like, I don't think we want to import iron because we would rather build it. I mean, I don't think we're going to be able to import silk from them. The agrarian stuff generally will be better. I guess maybe the liquor, since they have rye farms, their liquor might be depressed in price, generally speaking, and so... Where's the liquor? So we could raise SOL. It barely loses money, so we could try and maybe raise SOL. Like, importing liquor from a bunch of the Middle Eastern countries used to be really good. It feels like it's not as good anymore. I think the AI just imports more from them normally. Yeah, so it's not like we can just import a ton from the Ottomans. I'm not sure exactly why that is anymore, because they don't consume as much of it. Ottomans is also going to be one of the better countries to get in your customs union now, because they start out with not having any migration controls. So in terms of a battery of once you get onto multiculturalism, a battery of migration, they are one of the better ones now. We have exactly the same amount. We could start on civilizing mission. I think that we don't need to do this though. I think we're gonna get this through fast enough. We're at a rate that we're gonna finish Steam Donkey and Dynamite when we not spread that. Let's take a look at our infamy. Alright. Can we reduce autonomy on anyone who would accept? No. But we could probably tolerate that war, I would think. We're just concerned with someone joining against us. France, the problem is France rivaled us now. And I'm really trying to not have to, like, reload stuff, but there's no USA in there. But France is very likely to intervene against us in a general sense. I think we wanted to go for Macron here, for the purpose of gaining an adjacency to Persia. And if France joins against us here, we could just play defense, land Macron, and then wait them out. And maybe even rival them and humiliate them so they can't join against us anymore. Except humiliation, I think you have to take cap to enforce, so maybe we just can't do that. And are we going to get the bad news? Much less likely they intervene when it's unrecognized. I'm super glad they made this change. It was psychotic when, like, they're offering to help us. I suppose that we could probably, on a lot of things, get the UK's help, so maybe we're supposed to wait for, like, half mobilization. France just taking Madagascar straight up. I wish we could station troops to prevent landings, but you can't right now. But France is pretty likely, if we do this, to de-rival us, so we're about that life. Yeah, the rivalry's only minus 100, the same side of conflict's plus 100. So now they're not going to be as belligerent towards us. In my Paraguay run, day 1, I went after Brazil for Mato Grosso, Minas Gerais, and Sao Paulo. Seems good to get pops and gold mines. This is an interesting idea. I don't hate it. We went the other way, and now we're kind of sad that the migration... it's going to be really slow for Argentina to get all of Mapuche for us to make sure we get the full shaboodle. And so if we annex Argentina, then other people will colonize the Mapuche, so we can't do that. I hope they rework combat to make it easier, more simple to navigate. Yeah, this is kind of like... It was supposed to be hyper simple, and then it like ends up like not being. And so it's just kind of like feels bad, man. I think we'll just stay in the play. I think we just spread the word. Real problem here right now is pops. And not having enough of them. We are approaching 12.5k, or actually is it 12k is the amount? At 12.5k we are approaching with both of these techs, and so we will soon have to switch on to something else, but what we could do is we could also just actually research chem bleaching and finish it up. The Paraguayan Dream, my favorite. We'll take the extra SOL, because it pushes migration. Maybe it's not as important because we have so much base value. One big thing is if we leave the UK's market, we become a GP, which gives us more a percentage modifier for migration attraction, which is kind of attractive. So not gonna go laissez-faire here, but kind of want to go universal suffrage. Which will... Oh, the armed forces won't rev here. Or they might join the rev. They probably join the rev, but industrialists hate it. Let's see what our agitators look like, because I think we don't hate provoking a rev. Armed forces are super happy with us right now. And then this would get the trade unions both happy for workforce ratio and manufacturing throughput, which is great. But also would really increase their clout a lot. And help us for our event chain. One problem is, like, the presidential republic's rough. Single party state. We're so far from... Oh, it just needs... Political agitation's down here, right? Yeah. Super far away. Kind of want to stay on legal guardianship because it makes... We're close enough to women's suffrage anyways. Technocracy is an interesting one. But I think that we, in order to stifle the age of Cadillos, we would rather kind of go in this direction, in a this-wordly direction. To be fair, census suffrage keeps our industrialist bonus. Let's take a look at agitators. Or the legitimist. Interesting. Well, this guy will start a movement for census suffrage. Interesting, we could get ones for landed voting. I don't think that's what we want. But I think we're into census suffrage, and we're into increasing the clout of the Intelligentsia for a better bonus. And if we can get a movement to kind of help that. Oh, it's got huge support in radicalism too. Let's go, brother. Are we getting 100% ticks on this baby? No, we're not, but like we actually should get through it pretty quick. Crown backs down. Big nice. So now, very critically, this gives us an adjacency to Persia. Also, long term, we can go in through Kalat and then eventually get Sikh Empire as a population battery. And so, which is a play pattern that probably Macron into them is probably better. Well, Sind is a little bit better in terms of just taking it, but this often makes the UK and the EIC belligerent towards you. So I'm a little less bullish on Sind if you're not very strong and you can't deal with this. We could also increase our institution here. We will increase the health institution, extra flat SOL, which again is going to be a little bit less valuable. We're going to increase both of these, even though we can't quite afford it, because we do have more in the queue there. We could increase colonial growth generation. Maybe we should as well. Yeah, let's just go a little institutional here. We are actually clearing out the queue, which is nice. This is why kind of happy we're not on laissez-faire. Because we can actually control what we're going towards stuff. Not a lot of radicalism for this preserve oligarchy movement. Yeah, the armed forces are still too happy. Maybe census suffrage is just super the way we want to go. Kind of like this, the way this is shaking out. Exile at the gates. Democrat will join census suffrage, but then will stay and agitate for Catholic stuff. But he will join census suffrage, so maybe he's just worth suffering. Also, maybe he just goes away off into the sunset once we... Yeah. Sure. If he joins it, right, we should... Yeah, now we're at 100% a tick. And the support for it is extreme, but they're placated, but we're at 100% a tick. We're in good shape here. British colonization rights on go. Go. I hate how... So once they actually finish this up, they'll release it, and there will be no colonial progress on that front. Are we fighting Sokoto? They're fighting Sokoto. Can you stop rivaling us? Maybe? Maybe, please? Maybe, baby? Technically, if we decayed back to minor, they would have to de-rival us. But I don't think we're doing that now. At this point. We're still getting a decay. It's very small, but I think that we've kind of successfully navigated that as long as we just don't build too much up on the universities, which, to be fair, we actually want to. Alright, so we're at 12k here. I'm a little bit leery about accidentally going over 12.5, which is what we want to avoid. So I think we're going to actually research Civilizing Mission for a hot minute and make some progress towards that. I think that's the one we would want from here. To be fair, steel frame buildings is an insane tech. Maybe we want to prep that a little bit even. Let's do some of that and just getting ready to turn on steel frame buildings eventually. think that's already, it is already auto-expanding. But I think we do civilizing mission because this will help us solve the pop problems in like kind of the immediate future, and then we maybe do steel frame. But it'll be super nice when this finishes. To be fair, we have a decent number of plantations, right? And the auto queue, our auto queue, unfortunately, because we're in the British market, one unfortunate thing is our auto queue is going to end up building a little bit more vineyards and all this stuff than we would like. But that does make pump tracks more attractive. We like ourselves a 100% tick. We love it. 100% chance of ticking. Big nice. It's going to crush the amount of this we have. And so we're probably going to have to get rid of some stuff. But I think we could actually just get rid of road maintenance in Santiago right now anyway. I think we're not super committed on it. Yeah, we even have enough infra anyway. So let's do that. Let's come in here. Tax opium too, I guess. For now. Opium, to be fair, this is taxing poor people. It's a poor people drug. Let's tax luxury clothes instead. Look to kind of help SOL out a little bit more. Not quite as authority efficient, but it is a little bit better for population growth than taxing the opium. Which is silly in a sense, but... And we can spend more than what we're spending now. And we see Ica is kind of looking good, so what's good with Ica? Well, not their turmoil, that's not good. We'll add a railway at the back, because they're going to need it, but... Yeah, this is why it's a little bit cheaper on the construction. They have the little bit of iron. Let's double check that we have actually incorporated everything. Yeah. Everything that matters. I guess we wouldn't hate incorporating East and West Borneo. Was France just not... Okay, no, they're landing here. Right? They crush... Yeah, they're winning this. What size... What should I focus on when playing as Japan? Colonize Africa or subjugate Southeast Asia? Or well, I think for just about everyone, that going after Transvaal and Freistadt is the hyper meta, and there's like no exception really. If you have access to a coast, this is what you want to do. But that said, Dynam's actually got some nice mappy states in Annam, and you also have rubber appearing here, so getting some Southeast Asia is like pretty good. A little bit of oil I think appears here, which is something you're not going to have a lot of, and if you're trying to play Japan in a more RP way, going for Southeast Asia and Indonesia like makes more sense. And then Manchuria's got some good stuff too. Hey Arcad, how's it going? What's the strange what a strange way to play as Prussia? I'm not following the joke. You're saying playing Japan's a strange way to play as Prussia? I agree. Japan is a strange way to play as Prussia. This is going to be the most painless transition to census suffrage I think I've ever seen. The combination of like the movement, the two agitators, and like a ton of... It's also going to decrease radicals a whole bunch too. And I think, hopefully this puts the nail in the coffin of the Age of Caudillos, because right now it's changing by 1, but one of the positive things is us being on oligarchy, and so once we get off of this, hopefully this crushes the Age of Caudillos, and we get rid of, kind of their power. We were expecting to force a rev and then needing to build a whole bunch of barracks in the capital, but it seems unnecessary. To be fair, our army's way weaker than it looked before, though. Because we lost access to all of our conscripts here. Where are you from? What's your story? to Barca. I don't know where Barca is. It's probably in... Please, let me pick... It's probably in Indonesia. Where are you guys from? East Borneo, West Borneo, okay. Indonesia. We won't delete it, but we're just gonna regionalize it, or do what I like to do, which makes it green dots. Don't really have too much of a... And then we'll have this one merge with the Indonesia army. Just a little bit of cleanup here. And then for this, I think we will want a little bit more army from the capital there. I can only play Prussia, I can't help myself. Prussia's fun to play. You get like super good mappy. You get to, like, it feels so good forming Germany and then the HRE. I can get behind it. Sucks that France is gonna go to hating us again, but oh well. I forgot we will eventually be able to reduce autonomy on Brazil. In Brazil, we want to straight up annex because they're not part of the Spanish-speaking formable. But why can't we reduce? Oh, we can't reduce autonomy because we're in the middle of a play. That's fair. Can we? There's no way for us to improve relations there. Can't be done. Actually, it's not going to matter if they're above 50 anyways. They are at 50, so. Even if we had some more of this juice, we wouldn't be able to. Minus 100 base from cautious. We have a cautious ruler, bro. Maybe we're supposed to stay oligarchy then. Ugh. Well, census, I think they will still win elections under census. I think they'll still win elections. Hopefully they still win elections. I didn't realize. This is my bad, I can't read. I only play Russia, I can't help myself. Russia feels super good with, like, the resources, just the absurd modifiers. Like, they have the best logging. Logging is absolutely the best in the early game. Russia feels really good as well. Okay. It's only 9.6 infamy. The problem is, well, I don't even know if we win a war against Brazil, to be fair. They have a bigger army than us, so. That's one thing, like, about EU4, I feel like you shouldn't be able to have subjects, like, bigger than you, which you can have in this game. Hopefully our pie doesn't get thumbed. They might just accept as well. Alright. I think we can just land behind if someone joins against us and win without too much difficulty. Can also sway the UK here, but France rivals us, which is unfortunate. And they're a little bit belligerent, so. Which have you preferred, Peru or Brazil? I enjoy playing in the Western Hemisphere. Between Peru and Brazil? Well, I haven't played Peru. I'd actually be keen on trying how Bolivia is with some of their unique stuff. I think Peru doesn't have, like, unique flavor, so probably Brazil? Ecuador is interesting because they have one of the good mappy states. So is New Granada up here, I think. see our infamy. Oh, maybe we're supposed to reduce Brazil's autonomy before the census suffrage hits. I think it's fine. Subjugating Central America would be, or actually it's still intriguing because the UK can't intervene in that, or sorry, the USA can't intervene in that very easily, and France, that might be one of the few strategic regions they don't have an interest in. No, they got an interest, but it could have been, it should have been, it would have been. Oh, between Paraguay and Brazil? Probably Brazil. I mean, this Paraguay run has felt super smooth, though. It's definitely felt pretty nice. Okay, so now we're off of civilizing mission because we now have all of the tier 2 texts. So now we just do this into this. And we'll get both of these in 8 weeks because they went from, you know, costing like 15k to costing 12.5k. So we're being a little bit more efficient there. Oh, a tiny bit. Although I do think we want to build the EOS on the unis now. Do we have infrastructure? We do not. Let's do this, and then this. Coalition coupons. I think we just give this to the Free Trade Party. We do want them to be winning elections right now, as long as this guy is cautious. We could do this, but there's about to be an election, so hopefully these guys don't do well. Jesus, that'd be terrible. Looks like the blue party's gonna crush here. Son of a bizzle, dude. The blue party's gonna win, I think. We're gonna lose our cautious boyo. We have 180 days to declare a big war if we're gonna declare one. Oh, now we have the stressful situation. So, can we land Persia is a question. Can we land Persia is a question. Mexico's like done fine against the USA this round, which is a bit strange. Didn't we tell you to merge? Oh, you've just kind of come on up. How are we doing on getting skirmish? It's not spreading. The pain. Alright, so we get Steam Donkey here. We're gonna turn it on everywhere. I think it'll actually be profitable everywhere. Even if it says it's not, though, we're turning it on. Our principal problem is lack of pops at this point. And then Dynamite following that immediately after. Shiftworks NAT spreading. Kind of a little bit unfortunate on the NAT spread there. But I think we'd go Civilizing Mission after this. And then we might do the Slingshot method as well over here. Civilizing Mission, you see it costs 15.5k. It'll cost 12.5k once Organized Sports finishes. And so what we probably do is before that finishes, we will swap to doing steel frame buildings instead. So, yeah, and we get Dynamite. Now, we do have a good amount of mines, and because we have mine companies, Yeah, we have a good amount of iron, so this is all going to feel super good. It's going to make the explosives real expensive, but we don't really care. And we're going to be making a ton of money. So I think we also look to boost the military here, like, in this exact moment. Create an army. Let's make it a landing squad. Let's make 3 from here. And 3 lancers as well. Because we know that they pulled in some more pops. So that'll be like another 10-ish units coming on in. As we're kind of winding this up. So we do fear a lot of things, but one is losing our cautious leader before we do something that requires a big chunk of infamy. That's one thing we fear. I think we're going to also, yeah, the fleets are, because we recruited a bunch of admirals. Let's also do this. Get those going. Actually, those are less important than the barracks is actually recruiting up, so let's do this. And I'm not sure whether we go for Persia or we go for Brazil here. I'm thinking we go for Persia, because I don't know if we... Brazil's stronger, I think. By a big margin. Because we're about to lose Mr. 20%, Mr. Worldwide himself. The cautious boyo. You maybe take a vote. We definitely want to save before we go for Brazil. I mean, I wish we could know if they were going to side against us. Look at how much money we're making. All we did was fucking increase the... we turned on the dynamite and the other things. Look at all this. The minting goes up because of the dynamite, but also stuff is actually getting employed up. Nice. We maybe even want to finish this first. Yeah, one of the reasons why presidential republic sucks, though, is because if you get a president that has a really bad trait, it's really hard to get rid of them. Because you can't promote the agitator or whatever. Maybe we take a vote here, which one we go for, between Persia. So, Protectorate Persia, 32 infamy. Could say Porque no los dos. I mean, I think Persia's probably the better one. And to be fair, we have a lot of tools with which to sway on the UK. So, like, if something crazy happens, we can always sway the UK, almost certainly. I wish we knew if they were going to side us against us, Saddam Hussein in 1990. Yeah, the truth hurts. Maybe you're right. Maybe we go for Iraq. I don't know, what do you guys think? Persia or Brazil? To be fair, Brazil might just back down. We could also cheese it, but I don't want to cheese it, because we could force this 20% to happen. Just by saving, going for it. If it doesn't happen, we load, wait a day, go for it. So we could force the reduction of autonomy. We could do both. Look at our GDP. So handsome. I mean, Persia is just... This play pattern of going for Persia every game is, like, also becoming, like, somewhat, like, obviously best. Well, actually, if we get a side against us with Persia, that's really not going to interfere our ability to enforce on Persia. But if we get a side against us on Brazil, they put people on the front, and then we get clappy-wappied. And so, you know, maybe that just makes it so that Persia's the one, huh? Also, Persia's the bigger chunk of infamy. We're trying to lock in a big infamy investment. Weird thing, Saddam didn't reload. Yeah. Saddam didn't reload. He would have if he could have. Alright, let's go for Persia. Saddam did not reload. Nice. We get a migration from Lubeck. Bro, that sucks for Lubeck. Bro, that real sucks for Lubeck. Look at their pop. They can't employ their buildings. Look, it's just trade centers. Good for us, though. We're also transitioning into having a much bigger military. We will wait until they're about halfway through. And this will also give us an adjacency with both the Ottomans and Russia, actually, which is super nice in terms of trade, if we wanted to become free. So we cannot sway Great Britain. We didn't do the schematics on this one. I think we can win through this. Actually, they're a really obnoxious one. This might not be winnable. They're really obnoxious because they could actually get to the front relatively quickly. What kind of new law you hope PDX includes in the future patch? I think adding laws is pretty low on my list of things. For me, I hope we can get foreign investment laws so we can invest in our subjects. They said they were working on that. I see that as less of a law and more of a mechanic. Do they get anything from this? No. If we just don't put anything... So, to be fair, we might be able to do something crazy. In regards to some of this, but we will just decay. We will probably just decay the British East India Company out. Kind of not thrilled with the way things have rolled out, though. Kind of don't like this. Oh, the freaking join... Bro, why does Persia do stuff like that, man? Persia's a subject of the East India Company. We would actually have to enforce on the East India Company. Occupying Persia would not be enough. We would actually have to occupy the EIC. Bro, that sucks. So that completely, basically bricks our ability to do it. We might reload here. Saddam didn't reload, though. That's true. In the game I'm playing, Ottoman turned into Serbia. Is that rare? Like, all the Ottoman Empire turning into Serbia? Yeah, that is a strange phenomenon. I haven't seen that before. And we get African pops not getting malaria colonization penalty. That's definitely a QOL thing that should be changed. I'm investing in industry in foreign countries is a major part of the DLC. I'm thinking it will be for Spheres of Influence. I'm thinking we just need to reload here, though. Right? Because they swayed to become subjects. Which means we can't actually occupy Persia. We have to occupy the British East India Company, which there's, like, no shout we can do. I hate... Like, why are they willing to just become subject to avoid becoming a subject? Also, how do we have more level of military mobilization? But there's 100%... There's no way we land them if they leave troops behind. They would have to just go idiot mode with their troops. We would have to do some weird, like, maneuvering. We would have to land Persia, pull the troops here, and then land here. That would be the only way to win this war. And they would have to not split their army. If they split their army, there's no way we could... Their army is like more than twice the size of ours. So if they split their army even remotely intelligently, like the 40 and 50 go here, or the 100 goes here, and the others stay behind, there's like 0% chance of winning this. Who can we sway? Not the UK. This was kind of our back pocket thing. We can't sway the UK because we can't sway them against a subject. Because they can't fight, well, they're fighting on the same side as East India Company, but because Persia is a subject of, actually, to be fair, Brazil would be treated as a subject, so we could sway Russia with Conquer State by giving up the most valuable Persian state. We could give up Tabriz, which is the most valuable state and most populous state. Not thrilled about that either, because we are still paying the infamy for Tabriz. And also, I still think we would not be able to enforce on them, because Russia's not going to land them. We would have to land them. I'm thinking we reload, but try to do this last. Not that we do it super often anyways, but that was like... EIC was not on my radar. It was not on my, yeah. EIC was not on my, bingo card for who sides against us. It was not on my bingo card. They really hate our guts or something? Bro, what the fuck is this? I thought we had, yeah, I thought we had improved relations with them before. Freaking hate Diplo in this game, man. I don't even know if we win against Brazil is one thing, though. They might even have skirmish, and we don't have skirmish. What else can we do? We can go after Venezuela. I'm very confident we get sided against if we go after Venezuela, but Venezuela doesn't actually have an adjacency in here. And France would be annoying because they could go into Brazil, so they would actually have a front. You can maybe reload and sway UK first day available. That way no BS shenanigans. Oh, I suppose that's true. And then they wouldn't be able to join. We can see if that works. I'm not sure if this works, but the Brazil one's a little concerning because of, yeah. We can see. I think that they swayed them pretty quick, though, but feels bad to need to sway the UK, but alright, we can transfer any subject here. Jambi, Belengans, Ecuador, Sambas is probably one of the smaller ones. Transfer states. Paraguay and South Cameroon's probably what we transfer. Oh, ban slavery is definitely what we do go for. Yay. So now they can't join. And we figured out around the no path bug, playing as Portugal, entire armies trapped in the Sunda Islands. You can delete the, if you delete the army, and you have another available army, it gets reorganized into that other army and overrides like the being lost thing, is my understanding. I haven't tested that out yet, but that's what everyone's been saying. If you're like super proactive about making sure you have your army leave before the war gets finished, this is another way that you can kind of work it. So I think we're gonna go for war reps too here. And open market. And expecting them to back down. This is minus 75. They do have the gold reserves. Yeah, we'll crack down on the Colorado party. I think we're going to stop improving relations with a few of these guys and look to actually float some excess to decrease the infamy. Maybe we're supposed to rival the ES, British East India Company. Oh, to be fair, their attitude probably changed when we acquired 30 infamy. Tuscany coming up in the world. Belgium's unlikely as well to like really do anything too substantive. But yeah, now they're just cooperative. Free Trade Party, do they win? They do win. Okay, so we at least get to keep that. Path to liberalism's completed. Big nice. We have a super legitimate government. Kind of by a narrow margin. Leader gets a... So we can give him popularity, we can make him a radical, I think. Guaranteed libs, we already have. Universal suffrage, we don't have, and we could go towards. Oh, I wish there was some way to go parliamentary republic. But to be fair, we don't mind him as president. We could switch him to reformer. And he endorses compulsory primary school. Don't they... I think they don't endorse compulsory primary school. I think they're against it generally. Yeah, they're against it. And so him being a reformer would be preferable, right? And I think that radicals do not like the schooling, so I think we go reformer. And now with him as a reformer... Oh, it wasn't him. It was a different guy. Okay, fair. You got us. They tricked us. Filthy hobbitses. But the Industrialists are really pleased with us right now anyway. So we can restrict child labor. It's just the Intelligentsia guy who supports it, which I think actually was the guy we just used anyway, so... Or is maybe the guy we made the thing... We also go laissez-faire here. I don't think we like that just yet. Yeah, we could yeah. Kind of feeling restricted in the child labor here. We could wait and go for compulsory primary school, but this is going to make the trade unionists pretty upset. I'd rather kind of keep their bonus. To be fair, we're losing the bonus here, though. But do we have the trade unionist bonuses? Yeah, we do. So maybe we just chill for a little bit. Super nice, these guys are powerful as well. The 50% migration attraction is so strong for us. So maybe this, and maybe we don't get that unless we go census suffrage, so maybe census suffrage is actually the perfect one. Oops, we forgot to mobilize this guy. Let's do that. Now we do want trench rat. Nice. Trench rat's a good one. Do we have a guy for defense on this squad already? So he can be offense instead. Alright. Super nice with the band slavery here. Hey Alex, so, Alec SOD, how's it going? It's going good with me. How does infamy decay work? Is it a percentage or is it a flat value? It is, let's hover it. So it's an amount per week that's base for this amount per year, and then it's modified by percentage modifiers. And so we have diplomatic mitigation because we're floating full influence, so we will decay a little bit faster, 25% faster. We will still be infamous for some time, but this is pretty good considering a lot of people don't like us very much and been siding against us and this type of thing, and so hopefully during this time we can improve relations with France and maybe even like leave the British Customs Union kind of soon here, because we have an adjacency with Russia, Ottoman Empire, Qing, and so maybe we make our own way, and if we make our own way we will get additional percentage migration attraction modifier, and this would be especially good if we could get the Ottoman Empire into our customs union, because then we can siphon off migrants from them instead of trying to siphon off from the UK, because to be fair, one of the problems with siphoning off migrants from the UK, which is what we're trying to do, is they have a ton of migration attraction anyways, and so, you know, they are difficult to siphon off from, although we would be getting some from like Canada and stuff like this. I mean, we are getting migrants though. Malta, Cognac, Yukon. So we're siphoning off migrants, which is the main reason to be inside the customs union. But how is 100% access determined with authority, bureaucracy, etc.? It depends on how much your balance, or like your normal balance is. So it's calculated based on that. I don't know the exact calculation. Can't resist subjugating Persia? No. It's too good. There's too much resources there, especially the late game oil. You can't not. I think we give them a couple frigates. We wish we had more ships, though. Wait, no. Gotta wait for them to merge. I think the UK is gonna do the dirty work for us, because they might. Looks like they're getting. We'll just get in position to do the dirty work. We have plenty of time. It's not like we're in a rush to finish this war. Creating a new army elsewhere and deleting work. Very nice. Glad that worked. CJ says conquer resource is awesome, and population is like Beijing is a resource too. Yeah. To be fair, Persia's not as good for the population consideration, but often you could go Persia into Kalat into Sikh Empire, which Sikh Empire is super good on the population. Hey, do you recommend Voice of the People DLC? There's mixed reviews on stream. I would posit that the way you should look at that DLC is you're kind of supporting the game. Alongside that DLC, they released a bunch of features for free in the free version that I think would have been worth the DLC, but they didn't put it behind money so that it doesn't cost any money, right? And so you already have those. Almost all of the stuff that was really good about patch 1.3, which is the patch alongside that DLC, was included in the free version. And they're doing this so that it's they don't have a bunch of good features locked behind stuff for newer players when they come in to the game. So it's good for the long-term health of the game. However, it makes the DLC seem not worth the money. So from the sense of it feeling worth the money, the DLC is not going to look great. However, I think if you like Victoria 3 and you have a ton of hours played in Victoria 3 and you enjoy it and you get enjoyment from it, that you should prefer to support the game, and that despite it not being like worth the money, you might consider buying it. And so it's kind of like a weird type of answer, but if you are on a tight budget, which I can definitely appreciate because I've been on a tight budget when it comes to gaming before, it is not essential. There are a few things you can't do without it, like you can't promote an agitator to government, which is like kind of a play pattern that's semi-important, but you can still play around with agitators without it. That's kind of like the biggest thing I would say. Also, if you want to play France, I would recommend it. Specifically, like, because there's a lot of local flavor for France in it. By the way, fun fact, if you launch the game, every general has a set year when he dies. Didn't check too deep. Really? Interesting. Hey, Lord Dragon, what's up? Randomism says launch in debug mode, you mean? So we see the UK is going to be coming in here. I want to see how much they're coming. Oh, they're coming in with a 50 stack? Okay. Well, in that case, I think we'll get our landing started as well. I think we want to be a little bit after them. I think we want them to pick up the big... Yeah. We want them to pick up the big thing. So we'll look to establish a front right here. And we will have a negative modifier. And then we will look to cheeky land back here. With the 5th, oh, why can't we land there? No commanders. That's fair. That's reasonable. You would need a commander to land. So let's land with these guys. And this will be a little bit of a cheeky one. If we get in, we will be able to push. And so we will have 3 landings coming in. Here. We are working on some steel. I think that we have most of civilizing mission done. We don't want to accidentally go over 12.5k before organized sports finishes, so we'll swap to steel frame here, and we'll look to yo-yo it. Or slingshot it, rather. Wow. Unregulated stuff. We hates it. But yeah, the UK's first battle gets in. And then our first battle gets in, and we definitely wanted the UK's battle to get in first. That way it would tie up all the troops. So this is feeling pretty good. Yeah. We would have put in banned slavery on them anyways, so that was a super nice sway. It's going to be very effective for us. I gotta write something down. Looks like we are getting in, baby. Very comfortably. And then with the war reps, that's gonna be super nice. If we can also get way bigger than Brazil in terms of army, they'll be more likely to back down, and we have we're starting to get a decent chunk of money here. Although I think maybe we don't add a bunch of construction sectors, because I think we're gonna get steel frame kind of pretty soon here, and we'll just be really aggressive about turning on steel frame. Let's take a look where we have our lead mines. Do we really have this much stuff just kind of waiting to be built? Ugh. Let's just kind of do that. To be fair, a lot of these places I think can't deploy up all the way. That's why I'm kind of leery about adding them. The autocue is usually pretty aggressive about adding gold. But where do we? West Borneo, Lima, and Jujuy. So Lima, I think we also already have a decent. Yeah, we already have some stuff here in Lima. But what we'll do? We'll add glassworks and put it on auto expand because we do have local. This is one of the few places we have lead mines. We'll put lead mines on auto expand there as well because glass is going to get expensive. And then I think Jujuy was another one, but it was out of infrastructure. Where's Jujuy? Is it over here somewhere? There it is. So I guess we will, at the front of the queue, add a rail here. Also explains why the gold mine was right here, so makes sense. And time to do the tedious stuff, which is check out, hey, do we have really cheap transport anywhere? We do. We do. Well, it turns out we can't really turn on any PMs here. But what we can do is we can add logging camps. And hope that they use some of it. Woohoo! I think we'll put it on this front. I think that if this landing doesn't get in, we'll just send those guys back. But it looks like we're just crushing here. And by we, I mean the UK is crushing. Poor Persia. Yeah, the truth hurts. Hey, Richard, how's it going? Such a cheap war with Persia. The sway was super cheap, and UK even sent fleet and army. Yeah. Just brutal if you're Persia. Just get absolutely bodied. What can men do against such reckless hate? What can Persians do against such reckless colonialists? I really like your industrialization guide, by the way. You're very welcome. You have a similar guide for waging wars? Not really. Like, the waging wars thing is, it's like a bunch of, like, weird tricks that, like, are hard to, like, organize into one cohesive thing. Like, a lot of it's just about dodging their army and maneuvering around, and it's, like, really gamey, and it's, like, it's hard to just explain it. You have to, like, show examples of you, like... I need to be better about saving when I'm executing, like, a tactical maneuver that, like, is relevant to the war. So, for example, the East India Company, when the East India Company sided with Persia, it was theoretically winnable, and the way we would win it is by landing Persia, and then when the EIC sends over, then coming over and landing EIC. But, like, that's, like, a weird thing to execute. Also, our navy might not even be bigger than theirs, so that maybe that wouldn't have even been doable, but, like, in theory it would have been doable. But, like, a lot of it is just about, not being where their army is, and, like, forcing their armies into weird spots. So, we do need to try and pass a law, too, maybe. Yeah. Didn't we click this button already? I thought we clicked the button. Alright, let's restrict the child labor. I think we lose our bonus is why we didn't want to do it. Property and women, we do want to do. Oh, I guess we had a pretty big movement for elected bureaucrats. We actually like elected bureaucrats. Maybe we take one tick off of child labor, and if we get a not very good tick, we'll switch. I find myself losing battles and not making progress even when it says I have an advantage. The advantage just means that... So this doesn't actually mean your army's better, which is super misleading. It just means your army will get to push faster than theirs. So very often if you're like Qing, you will have a bigger number. Your number will be green, but you will lose a bunch of the battles. So it doesn't actually denote that. It's actually a pretty bad piece of UI, because one assumes when looking at this that this means that they win the fight. It doesn't mean they win the fight. It correlates pretty strongly with winning the fight, but if you have an army with low offense and defense, you will lose more fights than this number would indicate, because this number is inflated by having a lot of numbers. So that's thing one. But what you might have is, currently, in the game, you do not borrow troops on offense, which you should be able to do, but you don't. At least this is my understanding of how things are currently working, which means if you have a bunch of medium-sized units or a bunch of little units set to push, they will just like unalive decide themselves on the enemy army without pulling in allies. And so what you need to do is you need on offense to have one big stack. And then on defense, you can borrow on defense. So you see, there's borrowed units here on defense. Borrowing is possible on defense, and so this does change things up a little bit in regards to like how this is working. And also, like if you don't have a way bigger army, setting one guy to push is probably going to be better. We have 2 guys on push because when you have one guy on push, what will end up happening is that it will use kind of bigger chunks of the army. Now, you can have multiple armies on a front, and I kind of think you should, like, later on, but you should have one big pushing army and then a couple defensive armies, so they can't have a bunch of different guys pushing, and you will end up getting battles without generals. So if this general is tied up here, right? If this guy's tied up here, he can't be tied up somewhere else, and so if they're pushing in 6 different states at once in a really long front, for example, you want to make sure you have 6 generals on defense. But you're probably making no progress because you have a bunch of medium-sized armies or small armies or this type of thing instead of one really big stack. And they said they were going to fix this, but as far as I can tell, I haven't seen a single instance, and I could be mistaken here because I haven't paid super close attention, but I think you just don't borrow armies on offense. Persia sold for an egg and an apple, a chip and a chair. Basically. Why is EIC still not the Raj? I don't know. Because it's supposed to happen after 20 years, right? I don't know what allows them to not trigger this. I know if the colonial institution goes to 5, they automatically become the Raj. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I'm not, you can ask on the Discord. There's like a resident EIC expert on the Discord who knows everything about the EIC. And generally I ask him if I have a question about the EIC. Hey Magua, how's it going? And your offense defense increases with better troops, i.e. tanks instead of infantry? Yes. Would you recommend only one offensive general for Doomstack, say with size 80? It depends on, if you're having trouble winning battles, I would recommend one. Or just swapping them all to defense and letting the enemy kill themselves on your artillery, because artillery has a lot of kill rate, right? And so you could just let them exhaust their armies pushing into you. If it's relatively close, you can let them exhaust their army pushing into you and just be on all defense. And then if it's not very close, then you can probably push in more than one provinces at once. And so being on a 3-1 split, I think, makes a lot of sense. I think you want at least one of these guys on defense, though, for the additional bonus. When you catch someone on defense, the plus 10% defense versus, the plus 10% offense. I think it's failing a journal entry. If they completed both of the conditions to avoid immunity, they somehow would have failed. Why are crypto bros aren't really bros? We should make a video on that. I think there should be a revolt in EIC to convert it to the Raj. This might be it, the Hindustan revolt, and the revolt never popped. I don't remember seeing it in this run. So yeah, I think it depends slightly, but if you're pushing, it should be, I think it's between 1 and 3 generals on offense. I think you do want to keep the 1 on defense, at the very least. Unless you're using, like, but also, this is like, a characteristic feature of like optimal play, just getting around them, having a half cav, half infantry, or even some other ratio, but making sure to have enough that you could have enough cavalry so you could have rapid advance. We haven't recruited a cavalry yet, so we can't. And having them be on like all push and just landing and outmaneuvering, I think is like an important thing. You can confirm that medium-sized packs don't work if the enemy fields a huge stack, so when you war Austria, France make one stack comparable, i.e. 100 stack. Yeah, but the one problem is if they have a ton of stacks, you can borrow stacks on defense. So if they have 15 stacks, they can borrow on defense, and you can't borrow on offense, and so there's an asymmetry there. Quickest way is to check if they have free trade mercantilism and no serfdom. Mercantilism? They do have serfdom. So they haven't completed it, I guess, in the traditional sense. Do you see oversimplified? Are you talking about the guy who makes YouTube videos? Like, whatever, oversimplified? That guy's super legit. Or I love that content. Alright, we're gonna need a little bit more government administrations. Maybe we're supposed to do this by upkeep, to be fair. Corrientes. Let's do some of this. We don't get a really good tick on child labor. We might switch to elected bureaucrats. Alright, that is a really good tick on child labor, so we're gonna stick with it. Confirmed really good tick. Alright. Can we get a full enforcement, please? Thank you. Oh no. No. Make it stop. Make it go all away. Should get the British flag, Persia. Hopefully that doesn't constantly raise turmoil. That would actually be really obnoxious. Or devastation, rather. No, devastation's going down. Okay. Perfect. We're just looking to see if they accept. They do not accept. They're not about that. Now, we could have annexed Congo. A little scared of the boys, though. Yeah, I think we just chill out. I mean, we have a lot of infamy right now anyways, so chilling's probably good. The journal is invalidated by not owning Delhi. It's one of those WTF choices on Paradox's part. Interesting. Hate this flag. The visual, yeah, of seeing the UK's flag over Persia instead of... I would be okay if it was our flag over Persia, but not the UK's flag. It's... yeah, visually it's a really annoying bug, though. We're super infamous anyways, yeah. We just had to roll the best tick possible. Well, super nice that, yeah, we crushed a lot of radicals when we passed the census suffrage, and now we've passed the point of more loyalists than radicals. I think we're gonna switch on to that option immediately, because I often forget to do this. And then for this guy, which we've actually turned on 0 options, we'll turn on all the options, but then also supplements. Tobacco's an inferior good, that's why we don't do it. I think that's probably pretty marginal, but we're gonna also put them on rail transport, because them moving fast is important. I think you should really try your best on the next war with Persia to pull mommy on your side. A little Domini mommy action. I mean, that's what she is now. I think if you relive the game, it goes away. Sometimes. I'm down to try that out. Unless you mean before the war. You mean just don't subjugate Persia. It's not worth it. Maybe you're right. Truly, it's the most based chat opinion ever. It's not worth subjugating a country if you have to see your ugly flag over them. Yeah, it doesn't work. It's even uglier zoomed out, dude. It looks like a television screen in the, like, 80s or whatever. Or 90s, early 2000s when you had no reception. That's exactly what it looks like zoomed out. Holy hell. I'm not about it. The only one I actually really love this bug on is if you're playing Japan and it's a bunch of polka dots. Then I think it's hilarious, and I'm super about it. But that's a little bit of a narrow case. Little bit of a narrow case. We have a bunch of excess money, but I think we want to expand. I think we have a bunch of unis in here, which are going to cost kind of a pretty penny. But we're also just, like, coming up, aren't we? Well, to be fair, some of this is Diplopacts, some of this is the war reps, right? Oh, Tripolitania is a dominion. We can check about reducing autonomy. Will you be my... Well, we're just gonna risk it, this 97. Alright, they accept. We're gonna risk it. Sometimes you gotta risk it to get the biscuit, so... How is this working for us? Alright, so this is probably going to complete somewhat soon. Or, I mean, it is going to complete somewhat soon. So maybe we're supposed to switch back civilizing mission and just finish it out first? Is it worth... I mean, our main problem is lack of pops, so let's actually maybe do that. A sour truth. It does hurt. Whoever wrote this event knows what's up. A sour truth. The truth hurts. It does hurt. So restrict the child labor. We use the children to destroy the children. I mean, what? We've been wanting to annex them for a while now. The real big problem is we want to... We want to form this, and then see if we can form the next one, and we can't do it, because these guys got to colonize some more. Yeah. Or specifically, Argentina has to colonize a lot more before we can do Rio de la Plata. And once we're Rio de la Plata, I think then we can form the massive one. So, when life gives you lemons, make a sour truth, basically. Stannis was one of my favorite characters in Game of Thrones. Just makes me think of the hard truths scene. I really kind of hate this event. Because usually what I do is I just go in and I immediately delete it. So, we have an opportunity here. And that opportunity is... Actually, let's see if we can trade with them to get Guyana in exchange for... We want to give up this. Mauritania. Oh, we can't give it up yet. Are they even remotely close? No, they don't even want it. Okay. Let's just take a crack at that, I guess. Maybe at some point we can do something somewhere. Making a ton of money. But when we're getting steel frames somewhat soon, it's a little bit... I'm a little bit less keen on increasing some of these things. I think let's increase there, there, and there. No labor as well is a bit of a problem. I guess Free Stat has a little bit of free labor. So let's add those there. And if you have free labor... Looks like, I mean, the auto queue is already adding some here. Cut through the red tape. I mean, it's kind of occupied. on your next war, you might not be able to invade them if mommy is involved, but this isn't tested. Hypothesis. Oh yeah, there's sometimes weird, goofy stuff. That kind of sucks. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we might not be able to invade them. I'm not sure how it works. Can you take Portugal to clean up your borders? No, we can't fight Portugal. Portugal's inside the customs union. Mommy would never allow it. That would get us kicked out of the house. So we don't want to get kicked out of the house yet. Although having Persia makes it much better because we can run overland routes with the Ottomans and Russia now. And we can also do so with Qing through Lanfang, who is in the Qing market. So we actually have a decent amount of... we could actually start building up our convoys now a little bit. So let's actually look to solve some infrastructure problems by building of convoys a little bit more than we otherwise would. Yeah, we're going to be able to do it sometime soon. There's a bit of white noise in the background. I'll see your white noise and raise you some loud cars. I think that's my fan. I guess I could turn my fan off. My ceiling fan. It's like not super hot. My room does get a little hot though. Rooms can get a little hot sometimes. Yeah, the queue's looking nice. I think, yeah, maybe once we get past 500 we go laissez-faire. Maybe we're just supposed to go laissez-faire now though. Because our industrialists aren't happy with us, right? Oh no, they're happy enough. Fair. If they're happy enough, they're happy enough. We just want their bonus. If we didn't have the bonus, maybe we go laissez-faire to hit the bonus. I found out today that the little girl that rules Portugal at game start is the younger sister of the ruler of Brazil, Pedro II. Wait, what? I thought Pedro ruled at game start. I mean, obviously it's Pedro now, but... Make a room tour? Oh my god, my room's a hot mess. My room is like... It's a hot mess plus like... 6 milk crates full of books. Or actually 8 milk crates full of books, just like kind of all around the room that you guys can't see. Did we pass multiculturalism? No, not yet. We haven't gotten into the tier 3 society tax yet. We are currently trying to slingshot our way, and I'm going to switch back there on that. Organized sports is about to finish though. So once this finishes, we'll switch back to civilizing mission. We just don't want to research over 12.5k, because we don't want to waste the... We're actually going to waste research if we do that way. So restricted child labor is about to pass through. It's interesting that we were small enough start for like slingshotting twice to feel worth it. I think then we just go into this kind of. I'm not sure if that's... Well, so we could go pump jacks, but we don't have a use for the oil yet. But we have a decent chunk of this stuff. I'm not sure which I think is better. I think our economy looks better long-term if we transition to the rubber stuff kind of faster, so... Because then we can export rubber tools really aggressively. Dun, 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 dun. We'll do the migration attraction there. What's our infamy? Super high still. Almost under 26th though. Still improving relations. USA's gone above 0 now, which is nice. France is still pretty bad. They don't like us very much either. The relations are positive. We don't have any diplomatic relations with them. I'm a little surprised that we can't trade Oh wait, Mauritania is not finished colonizing. Can we trade with the UK? Is the UK at war? The UK is very at war. The UK is doubly at war. We want to be able to... We want to trade for Guyana. Is France at war? They're not at war. I'm pretty sure they... We need to be above war, yeah. To trade stuff. Why don't you play with controlled private construction? We will for the Papal States run. I think it's a better simulation without it, but I think that it's not a better simulation without it when we have the problems of the thing being bugged out. Alright, we're going to finish civilizing mission first before going on to this. So we can start popping that event. Really, the migration's kind of... look at our line, though. That's a disgustingly, like, up line. Our pop growth is so big. I think we're going to add more of this as well. Chacao. Gonna add some more. I think we do want to increase the institution because we're getting, and we really want this to come up. We should have added more a long time ago, actually. Let's just add a bunch more and start getting these institutions coming up, because when we get restricted child labor passed, we're going to want to up the education. Remote European migration is now available, populating the Americas. Big nice. Let's do it. Let's unstar colonial administration. We're never going to do that ever. Which forces a mass migration event. But costs us a bunch of authority. Welcome to Paraguay. Alright, so where are we going to... I think encourage resource in Santiago is what we're going to give up. Here. And then I think maybe we want to think about increasing this a little bit, because the Paraguayan nation is no longer a problem. So let's just ease it on up. And this will also help the Intelligentsia to maintain strong clout. Make a rewrite. A little leery about... Ugh. We're just gonna do this one, but we feel bad about it because this means we could just get really unlucky. Movement for enact elected bureaucrats is pretty strong. We might go that next. WTF Ottoman and Egypt borders remains the same. It is a little bit of a novelty. Don't see it very often. Ooh, we could go after Greece. I always forget Greece has a really good company, but we never like proactively go after Greece. Maybe we're supposed to more often. This is such an eyesore, man. It says that's complete, but it's complete because they are fighting the other guy. These guys are fighting nobody, but we have bad relations, and these guys are fighting them. We just have to wait for that to finish. Hey Jugs, how's it going? How you be? Probably gonna go another 30 minutes to an hour on the stream, by the way, everyone. Things are coming along quite nicely. Got 12 months on steel frame. I'm curious to see what we research next is probably going to depend pretty heavily based on what natural spreads after this. Now it's starting to feel like we're having a hard time clearing out the queue. Really, adding institutions takes like a long time with this bug. This bug makes institutions feel really sticky. where they're getting more control than they ought to be. Our investment pool is also at 0, but which is a good thing, but I mean, we could interfere in this, to be fair, and just ask for this. I think we're not going to. Didn't we just get a mass migration? Where is it? Oh, it's here. It's popped because of the gold rush, is why it was here specifically. It's pretty nice because Lima's pretty good. So Lima will get a bunch of extra pops as well. Be able to make use of the gold. Fine, mostly US game seems to be a struggle. Can't seem to fix deficits with the whole local price thing. I can't figure out how to fix the price problem for most states. Yeah, you got to be careful like what you build where. Yeah, and you generally want to add construction in places where you have iron and coal. And then you build up the wood and the iron to kind of support the construction, and then later on the coal as you get on like the later PMs and steel and tools and this type of stuff. And so you create these small vertically integrated economies. I think we pass this now. Yeah, doesn't even make the Intelligentsia super mad. It's a pretty big movement, so we'll get rid of a lot of radicals, a lot of people supporting it. So it'll pass pretty quickly. Now, as far as the institutions go, let's increase them. We could increase all of them. To be fair, we kind of do want all of them better. We really care about getting the health one up, though. I guess the one we care least about is colonial affairs. And we're kind of doing okay on the radicals front, so maybe we just do this for now. Still adding more to be able to keep going up. If we get over 200 here, which I think we will, we'll be able to increase this all the way. Or we have to have a 194 bureaucracy. Which I think we're getting with this next one. Yep, so let's get that in. Locked in there. So we will be getting on up there. Imagine playing France and your nation named the 12th Republic. Oh, I don't understand this reference. I'm not French enough. Just got 9 months, and we're going to turn that on. Moment of truth here. This is going to significantly impact our strategy, depending on where this goes. Human rights is not spreading to us, which is tremendous, so we're not going to research. That would have been our next society research, and so we're not going to actively research a society tech after this. We could also pick up, I think we're going to try not to fight anyone, but we could pick up skirmish infantry. We don't have that yet. It's not spreading to us, though, so I guess we really wouldn't want to do that. And so, just moment of truth, we're really hoping for a rubber mastication or pump jack spread. Because if one of those spreads, then we'll research the other. So, rubber mastication is not spreading, so that means our next research will be pump jacks, followed by vulcanization. They're not about accepting, they're not about that life. I think this bump is when we did populating the Americas, maybe? No, maybe not. Maybe that was annexing someone. Let's see if we can make them open their borders. So they do have migration oh, they have migration controls. Fantastic. This is really good for us. So they have a movement, they don't have a movement, they could probably swap to theocracy. I don't think we want that. Yeah, I think we leave them be for now. But if we get multiculturalism, we will accept them into our bosoms. Can this guy merge with this? Yeah, they can. So let's just consolidate these two fleets. Just clean things up a little bit. I think that this one we will give our standard purple lion to, which means it's a big pushing army. We can afford to lose some Intelligentsia thing, but we don't want them to lose clout. We do want them to stay above 20%, so we'll just do this. Or above 20 clout, because we want the extra migration attraction modifier. Any tips on how to get your GDP up? Construction is kind of, it's important to increase construction. That's a super wide open thing though. I don't know where you are at in terms of the game or game knowledge. And it seems to keep rising faster than my GDP, which is getting it up is hard even if you oscillate up and down. Trying to get the economic scenario GDP. I forget what the economic scenario thing is. When you republic for the first time, the first republic, then switch to monarchy after the second. Uh-oh. Oof. Mr. Generalist, I think the forced mass migrations are bugged. Can you check on how many Portuguese came to your states since you launched Populate the Americas? Well, I can't check how many since then, but this is where the Portuguese... This is where the mass migration happened. There's a bunch of Portuguese there. And there's also Portuguese in adjacent states. Really not that many, though, in the adjacent. The adjacents aren't getting the lion's share of it. But there are 35k Portuguese here. Got more Portuguese over here, though, but to be fair, we've been siphoning them off from the British market, like, the entire game, so... We probably need to nuke something. So we could stop doing resource industry in Freistadt, where we have a lot of gold mines. I kind of don't like that, but maybe it's what we need to do. Maybe we stop greater grassing in Transvaal. I think this is probably fine. Getting close to getting elected bureaucrats. Just 35k from force seems very low. Normal mass migration gives hundreds. Yeah, but it's not done yet. It's ongoing mass migration. But yeah, it's not, it doesn't seem like that much. Overall, migration's relatively nerfed on this patch relative to others. French Senegal has been formed. Is the US, UK still at war? They're still at war. They're having a bit of trouble against Gogo, it seems. Which sucks, because we want to trade with them. We are not infamous anymore. I don't think we want to go for that. They are protective now, which is nice. I think we're going to wait until France gets reduced below 24 before really doing anything, because we do want to try and trade with them. Unless we can reduce autonomy with like 100%. These guys have been a little bit sticky on the autonomy reductions. We don't want to randomly get our pie thumbed, but I think that they might de-rival us. I think we are rivals. They might de-rival us if we get below 20. I have like 1.4k construction. I try and build up as much, but it doesn't seem to get very much at all. Interesting. I mean, you might be stagnating out. What companies you use are kind of important. The US has really good ones. Carnegie Steel. The oil one is also really good. Trying to focus on resources. It's hard to like try and give, like, how do I improve GDP is kind of just, like, a full explanation of the game, right? In some sense. Unless there's something specific wrong, but that's, like, difficult to suss out. No, not a revolution in Oceania. He hates it. Think of going after Greece too. Our interest disappeared there. I wonder why. As did both our colonizations. Kind of hate that. Also, I'm not sure why we could colonize when we didn't have an interest there. That's all very strange to me. Coming on up, steel frame. I think we prepped it a little bit. I'm not sure if the prep was good enough. I guess we'll see. We had a little bit extra steel and glass. To be fair, the British market should actually be able to absorb a lot. What is our GDP relative to the world? Okay. Are the construction sectors employed? When you run out of laborers, you need a better migration strategy, yeah. You have a video maybe we can point you to? It depends on what exactly your problem is. I don't have a video on migration. That's like kind of on the docket for upcoming videos. You're probably at a point where you want to turn on labor saving PMs if you're running out of labor though. Even if it doesn't always say that it gets the most money. Let's just do that one. I think there's still some turmoil there from radicals or whatever. Really? Sag. Try to move those guys to different industries if possible. Okay, so wait, what did we? Oh, we got a law. We didn't finish the tech. Okay. So we restricted the child labor. We're not going to do property to women. I think we do laissez-faire here. I mean, God. Only controlling a quarter of the queue is so rough. But we want the company. I don't know if it's worth it. Jesus. Why is this game so hard? I mean, we also get more free money modifier as well. And better loan interest rate. We probably get up to like 400 construction in just a sec here. Solidarity gets deactivated. It's unfortunate. They're still relatively happy though. Yeah, let's just go laissez-faire. Nice. Let's just do that. Because our ruler is particularly good. And then let's start swapping. Start with Freistadt, Transvaal, and Lima, and Ica. No shortages, huge deficit, but we're super okay with that. I think we are trying to crush the Caudillos, so we do that. Are they losing power? Yeah, they're losing power. Hell yeah, brother. Running a pretty big deficit. private queue, we're expecting to start solving some of the construction problems. Silly Spain. Ooh, what's this about? Why do we have way more? Oh, because we swapped to... That makes sense. The law. Okay. Let's increase home affairs all the way then. This is gonna feel pretty good here. My recent video on like what you do when you run out of pops might be relevant if you're running out of pops though. But like different things affect like what's important for increasing GDP. Sokoto colonization rights. Let's go, baby. Can we get a defense pact? Unfortunate. We already knew that that was happening, but... We haven't finished the colony, so we can't trade it. We do, I think, want to trade Inner Mauritania to them. And in just a moment, we will be able to trade with France, because they are about to not be poor. How many peons do we have in total? You mean peasants? We have 200k peasants. A lot of them are here, where we can't really employ them up very well. And they can't migrate away from there. And we have stuff auto-expanding there, but it's like, it's not, it'll auto-expand when it fully employs, kind of thing. But, like, this can't fully employ up. The struggles. Not a whole lot we can do there. I mean, we could build a university there, I suppose. Actually. This is reasonable. Skirmish, nice. You are about to not have poor relations with us. Yay. 89, 91, 93, 95, 97, 99. Oh, the crowd goes wild. Now we can trade states with them. Now I think what we want to trade is South Cameroon, and they will accept. So we're giving up this little snippet of land for something where gold appears there, and this also is going to be really nice because they could go into Brazil from this front, and so if we ever fought France, this would be like a really obnoxious thing. But now we can do this, and they will say yes. They'll say yes to the dress, and then this place also has gold, so it's even better. But now we just have to try and get from the Netherlands and the UK as well, and have some nice clean borders, some good clean family fun. So now we're probably going to be leaning a little bit more on these guys. Alright, fair enough. We'll use the Indonesia army. We'll send the landing squad over, the hit squad. And these guys should be good enough to land with. I think we maybe want to add a little bit more boats. Something like this. Sokoto goes stonks. Sokoto does go stonks sometimes. I don't know if pops are the issue. I haven't exactly checked, but I've been conquering a whole lot of land for the Star Sworn Banner achievement. I got a lot more land and pops inside your thing. Well, like, usually this is when you run out of pops is kind of when it feels like you stagnate. In 1K construction, if you're focusing on resource industries and stuff that doesn't cost a lot of construction, you can definitely run out of pops with 1K as the US. Which laws is best on women's rights? Suffrage. Unless you're playing, like... Yeah, suffrage for the most part. You'd have to, like, be playing, Ching for that not to be the case. You'd have to be playing someone who's, like, suffering from unemployment. But that's one of the reasons it's easier to swap legal guardianship to women's suffrage, like, considerably. So... it's one of the reasons we're staying on it. I think we'll choose this one. Again, pretty keen on that group. Yeah, we're going to be reducing autonomy on a lot of boyos. Or for the most part, just kind of chillin-ish. I mean, we could check and see if we could reduce autonomy on Brazil. I think we won't be able to, though. Enact state religion. That's not the type of movement we want. We have property of women, preserved interventionism. Yeah. But yeah, the allowing your pops are effectively more pop efficient while we're just gonna do this one. While you have a higher workforce ratio. There's like weird, like a super hyper late game workforce ratio might actually be bad because dependents are a free money modifier, so if you're at an equilibrium employment, but this is like, I think you have to be at like 10 billion GDP for this to maybe be the case that legal guardianship becomes better. I think we do this too. Maybe not. I'm not sure. It's so beautiful. Just the entire thing, Paraguay. We were supposed to put in other war goals, so they might actually back down. That was a mistake. My bad. My mistake. Apologies to the stream for my shameful display. Right, rapid advance. We will what? But is populating the Americas bugged? It might be bugged. We haven't gotten another mass migration as like something we can really compare. Nice that this guy keeps winning the election. As long as this guy is cautious, I think we will want him in place. And then as soon as he's not cautious, we'd probably actually prefer the trade unionists to have like kind of control of things. And generally you can't do both, so. We land Sulu successfully. Lada is now at war with us. So we're gonna push them. We gotta make sure that the Africa army has someone who's pushing, which they don't. Often I make this mistake. Let's take that historic guy. Man, we got some historic ballers. Absolute G's in terms of guys who are good at pushing. Experienced Southampton planner. Bahrain's in default. Sulu's gonna be done for soon. When you form USSR, which state religion is your religion? When you form USSR with state religion, is your religion changes to atheism? I don't think you automatically swap it. Also, I don't know. Technically, like, the USSR was, like, atheist, but I think that technically might be a little bit... might be the correct word. Or, like, Stalin made great use of the Orthodox Church. But that's kind of a bit of a digression, huh? We're researching pump jacks here. I think we want to finish pump jacks. It's possible. It's possible we're just supposed to get vulcanization faster. Not 100%. I'm not 100. We're up to 21 unis though, so we should be overflowing some. Oh, we're not even at cap, brother. Jesus. We had another 5 then. Make sure we just break over the cap. There we go. I don't understand why this guy's not pushing. Is this bugged, man? I think it's bugged. I think it's bugged. Oh, we recruit that guy? Is that the guy who's pushing? Okay. They just didn't feel like pushing before. That's fair, I guess. We have infamy to decay to spare from the Persia play. God, it's so ugly. Maybe this is a reason to not invite Mummy to the thing. Mummy paints the Persia the wrong color. I'm a little shocked we've been at this big a deficit from turning on steel frames and it hasn't kind of bounced in a positive way yet. Yeah, we'll try this. Age of Caudillos is ending. And belongs to any powerful interest group that does not belong to it. Interesting. Health system is up, which will bump up the standard of living, which will help with the migration. It won't help us as much as it like helps other people, generally speaking. You know, maybe we increase taxes a little bit here. Throttle this somewhat. I think I'm fine with this. UK occupied zone. The truth hurts. It ain't wrong though. Let's try and make sure that Russia has good relations with us. We'd still like to be in their customs union instead. I think that's kind of just a dream, though. A fever dream. I don't think that's happening. If we get their relations positive, they actually won't be able to rival us anymore, but that was kind of a far way off. And we get access to another company and lose access to most of our queue. Maybe this is a mistake. I like already feel like a sense of impending dread about that to change. Yeah, I think we might have made a mistake. It's so obnoxious, man. I don't think we would want this. We do have some interesting choices. Has to be in Brazil with a high paper. This one's interesting, but we don't even have access to that stuff yet. We might just take what we can slot in. This is the kind of one I was thinking of maybe doing. Well, we're running out of pops, which makes wood in general as an industry less attractive. Why don't we see... We should have handled this ahead of time, too. Any Paraguayan states, coal and sulfur mines are greater than 10. Alright, Transvaal's almost got the coal mines up, so... Let's just do that. And then we'll slot in the coal company rather than the wood rubber company. I think if we'd already annexed Brazil, that we would go wood rubber if we had more like things going. If Minty creates money, then is there something that destroys money? A lot of things destroy money. Or given enough time, will your pops end up getting richer and richer even though you're running a deficit? There's a lot of things that create and destroy value. For example, almost every building is creating value. This weekly balance plus the wages, this is positive value. The goods, the value of the goods, the excess of value that of these engines relative to the steel is added to wages and weekly balance. And this is money that's appearing from nowhere. Conversely, there's a lot of things that destroy value as well. But like this is creating value out of nothing as well. But most of it, you see that this is like 1.7k total. That's only like 20% of the output of the building. And so it's hard to create a lot of value. And this is significantly depressed by like MAPI. And so you used to be able to pop off really hard before 1.5. And now everything's way slower post 1.5. And I still haven't gotten used to it. And so like whenever I look at my GDP, I'm like, man, that doesn't seem very good. But that's just because it's 1.5, baby. We're probably going to turn on the labor saving PM on the engines, actually, which will eat into the margin more, but it will make it more pop efficient because it adds this 57, so the weekly balance went down by like the same amount. But there's a lot of things that create value and destroy value. I have a video on this which doesn't even include all of it, but like another one is like when we have a sell orders in the market. So let's find something that's expensive, or let's find something that's expensive. So we have more buy orders than sell orders for engines on the market. Our sell orders, these guys are getting paid the higher price, right? The 76 instead of the 60 or the 50 or whatever the normal price is for engines. I forget the base price for engines. 1.676k worth is getting paid that extra. But the buy orders, we have people buying engines, we have 2.4k of buy orders. We have more orders buying than selling. It's not the case that these guys who are paying a premium pay to these guys all the money that they're paying. No, instead they just pay extra, and the marginal difference between that 2.4k and that 1.76k, that just gets deleted. So when you have a high price, an especially high price, this also destroys value. And the same happens when you have an especially low price relative to like a normal price. However, like high prices relative to low prices are going to be preferable because you create more value. So you would prefer everything to be at plus 20% than at minus 20%, but having both high and and low prices is going to annihilate money, because when we have a low price here as well on the hardwood, right, we have more sell orders and they sell at a lower rate, and it's not the case that we have enough buy orders so that this lower rate can be fully actualized by the extra buy orders. And so this is another way money is destroyed. Money is also destroyed through the investment pool modifier, where all reinvestments are multiplied by this. This literally just annihilates the money, which is why when you start to get a really big GDP, that capitalist ownership starts to become bad, because a smaller reinvestment would be preferable because it's not annihilating money. And so, yeah. Madagascar casually renamed French East Africa. Laissez-faire seems only worth it nowadays because the extra company. Yeah, I think the extra company is the big driver of like why it's worth. But like it's also a free money modifier. We are getting extra capitalist investment pool contribution. But, like, I think that the lack of... the losing control is, like, pretty rough. Talking about the Shadow Realm. How on earth do you get a bonus from a railway company? It's really rough. You have to try and make sure you have, like, really expensive transport everywhere. And you generally can do it only if it's a railway company that's also tied to something else. So just mono railway is really, really rough. So, like, this would be incredibly difficult. But if you had railway plus, like, so... This is one of the best states in the game, Antofagasta. It has railway plus sulfur. Sulfur is one of the easiest things to get a productivity bonus on. So having the combination of the two is going to be like what allows you to do it. We're going to put in on the coal in a minute here. But yeah, like our investment pool. Look at this. See this going up? That's free money that we got from switching the laissez-faire. Missed a bit of the stream. I see. Shot Scarface. 18. SSF. Solo self-found. We're probably going to be concluding the stream pretty soon. At about 1. I do want to make it to the gym today. Or I am going to make it to the gym today. And it takes me a while because I'm going to be taking the bus. And so... And public transport where I live freaking sucks balls. You have to, like, walk a mile to the bus stop. Those are about to finish. We're so happy. We're going to get to slot in a coal company. And to be fair, if we didn't have enormous sulfur, I would be less bullish on this, but I think this will be good for us. And fertilizer throughput especially is going to be good for us because we have so much sulfur. So I'm thinking we like this. I'm thinking we're about it. I don't know if it's worth it to go laissez-faire over it, because look, now our queue is just going to be backed up for eternity. Our government construction queue, which is really rough. But I don't know, it is what it is. Subsidizing doesn't give a productivity bonus, right? No. It just makes it so that they will cover wages, basically. It doesn't give a productivity bonus, though. The best way to raise productivity is to use labor-saving PMs, because the way productivity is calculated... The way productivity is calculated is by taking all the numbers and doing the things with the numbers. Is you take all of the input goods minus all the output goods divided by the total number of laborers multiplied by 52. And so then that's how you get productivity. And so even if it's not profitable, when you decrease the number of laborers there, you decrease the denominator, and so labor-saving PMs overperform when it comes to raising productivity, and so this is one thing you can do to raise productivity pretty aggressively here. Oop. Oh man, we never swapped that. That's not ideal. We'll do independent artists because we really would like powerful intelligentsia right now. There we go. Hopefully that helps out a little bit. Russia's improving relations. Can you just invite us to your customs union though, bro? Pretty please. So happy we got this. One hour for the train, 8 hour for the bus. Yikes. Yeah, the public transportation in the area was so good, and now no longer exists, and I only have a train and a bus every 1 hour and 8 hours. Yeah. The, like... it, like, there's sometimes places where it's, like, almost just as fast to walk as it is to take the bus, and it's like, you get your exercise walking to the gym, yeah, but then I'm all burnt out by the time I get to the gym. Bro, I'm really heavy. Like, walking is way more tiring when you're, like, really heavy. And I've been not heavy before, and I am very heavy now. And it's like, it's a thing. Alright, we're gonna swap some of them, but not all of them. I think we're gonna do the inputs for stuff first. Let's see our engine price. That's not too bad. I guess it's the entire British market, so that's actually going to make it really resilient to us swapping really aggressively on this. We will leave kind of the worst industries out of it for now. So, unless that... Oh, that's barely moving the needle on the price. Yeah, we're just going to swap everything then. What are we researching now? Rubber mastication. So, we know that it's going to not spread to us. So, if we wanted to be cheeky, we could look to slingshot, but I think we just research it actively, get it faster. We could look to get progress in, like, investment banks, but, like, we're already not spreading kind of what we would want, which is human rights. I think we'll probably go feminism after this. So, we can go multiculturalism, so we can siphon off the Persian migrants. Might accept. London does accept. Nice. I think we're still, yeah, decaying a decent chunk down. They might just accept too. They do accept. Huzzah. We'll incorporate that because there's not a lot of people there now. Eventually a lot of people will appear with oil, so we get effectively a cheaper incorporation because we start earlier. It takes 20 years, and then eventually when there's oil, then more people come. Do you keep the +1 company from LF when you switch to another economic module? I believe you still keep it. I believe you still keep it. So are those releasable colonial administrations in Africa any good or just a noob trap? 100% the biggest noob trap. It's much better for you just to own the territory. Like, full stop. Not close. Not remotely close. I think that's us turning on the pump jack stuff. Holy. Pump jack's so good. To be fair, part of this is a result of us being in the UK's market and our auto queue being more oriented towards that type of stuff, so. Human rights is unlocked. Big nice. Which, to be fair, I think we go compulsory primary school now. It's not too big a deal if we can't get it through. Let's put it on there too. We're probably going to end up trading at least one of those to the UK at some point. Wow. What a pop off of pump jacks, man. We already have those 5 in the queue. Yeah. The brutal thing is, like, we basically have no construction queue anymore. We have control of 69 construction. Just kind of nice, but kind of not nice at the same time. Maybe we swap one more of these over to steel frame. Let's swap the little ones. Oh no! We'll do this one. We do not want to go down that road right now. Sucks the trade unionists are upset though. Even though we're enacting compulsory primary school. Do unlock rubber. Taming Amazonia. Get exploiting the Amazon as our GE. I freaking hate this so much. Oh no, wait, this isn't the thing I hate, but I do hate the things. Very often, powers will annex their colonial company and then immediately release it as a new colonial company, and it just seems like absolutely insane. Okay, so we could declare another play. Maybe we reduce autonomy in Jambi. Yeah. Was this an alliance? The problem is we actually wouldn't mind an alliance with the UK if we weren't in their customs union. Not that alliances are like reliable at all, but we wouldn't mind one. Well, last you made it to a live stream. Welcome, Georgia Ghost. Unfortunately, we're only going to be going another 15 minutes, but you did make it. Price of progress here. I was wondering, what's better, to keep Africa unincorporated with colonial exploitation or eat the 20 years? It depends, which is the sucky answer. Incorporation's way better than it used to be because unincorporated states receive a penalty to MAPI. Oh, we didn't do the thing where you can actually see the penalty. Sorry. I was acting like I was presenting some information. I hate this tooltip too. This one's like really hard to hover correctly. But you get -10 from unincorporated. So as a result, incorporation's just way better, like long term. Even with the throughput, I think, in a general sense. That said, the ones you incorporate, I think you prioritize the ones that have good MAPI, like to begin with, and maybe there's some that have literally just rubber and wood that you leave on colonial exploitation. I'm not 100% sure, because rubber and wood, throughput is really good on rubber and wood. But at the same time, you're annihilating value to the MAPI while you're doing it. So you're adding throughput and you're annihilating value. This is an empirical question, I suppose. But whether you will generate more value from the throughput or the MAPI or the downstream price depressing effect in the rest of your market, you probably figure this out mathematically. I haven't done it. So this would be maybe something to look into. It would take a while to look into it, but my intuition is that you kind of don't want to incorporate very aggressively, except there are going to be areas that have both iron and, like up here, has iron and coal. You almost certainly incorporate this. I think you probably incorporate anything that has either iron or coal, and that some of the stuff maybe you don't incorporate. But like if you have like unlimited bureaucracy, then I think you incorporate everything. So I think that once you get to the point where you're like using the phones, using this PM, telephone switchboards, I think you incorporate everything always, so I don't know. Hope that answers the question. Hi, Generalist, did you use North Peru trick you talked about the other night here with Paraguay? Yeah, we actually did it first with Paraguay, I think. But yeah, so we're starting to get a little bit deep into the run here. I think we ban slavery and go for war reps as well. The main downside of incorporation, in your opinion, is that it pushes down your literacy. 20-year incorporation actually doesn't push down literacy that much because they slowly gain access to your institution over the course of 20 years. It's the 5-year incorporations, if you incorporate a lot of pop, that will really push down the literacy. But like the 20-year incorporations aren't too bad on the literacy front. It'll push it down a little bit, but it's not too bad. Unless you have like nothing built there, then they will have a significant like low literacy because of they will have really low literacy because they have low SOL, and they will not have as much literacy from SOL. I'm thinking we maybe just okay. So Jambi back down here, which is nice for us. We could go after like something like Siak, and then also we could join on the same side as France in this. I think I kind of like this. We could also go for Venezuela. Do like the well, I think we can diplomatically do this, but we can't diplomatically do this. But I think we're not. Our military is actually weaker than theirs right now. 1,500. So maybe we just chill out. 1,900. Probably just chill, huh? So let's do this. And then let's join. Oh. Shoot, 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 shoot. I didn't realize USA was in there. We're gonna load. We don't want to declare that play. We want to do the one where we do whatever we want because we're on the same side of a play as both USA and France at the same time. Okay. We need to learn how to read better. Okay, so is it better to get New Granada or Bolivia? Probably New Granada, so that no one can take the Panama Canal from us. But Antofagasta is one of the best companies in the game, so a little bit tough. Okay, so I think we're just gonna go for New Granada because this will also give us a native interest in Central America, allowing us to declare more interests. Will this? Okay, this will be fine for us. And then we will do this, and we will join on this. And now neither France nor USA can join against us. Ah, we're so good and clever at this game. Does it feel a little contrived? Yes. Yes, it does. All the defensive guys that are all super good. We don't have a defensive army. Let's actually create a National Guard type army. So we'll do this, and then we'll add some skirmish. Where do we have a lot of peasants? That is local. That is local. Buenos Aires. Let's do that, I suppose. We will switch this guy to yellow for the National Guard, which we're kind of making all the National Guard guys. And then we will put this trench rat on it. Experienced defensive strategist and trench rat. Bro, no one's getting through him. Except they might because there's barely any units there, but that's a different thing. You can't side against us, na 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 na. You can't side against us. What you gonna do? Na 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 na. You're stuck in a play. Ayo, Ayo, Esteban. Does Forbidden Palace still get 10% from colonial exploitation? No, but they do get the minus 10% from not being incorporated. So now you actively want to incorporate that. We don't have that many PB pops, to be honest. Oh, I guess we do. For the French, yeah. Spain sides with New Granada. Not exactly what we were looking for. But we can ban slavery in New Granada for the UK. And then we could actually put in on the oh, they even have this. Oh, we're gonna go for something on Spain. At least war reps. Oh my god, I wish I knew. I wish I was better at this game. What state do we need for their really good company? Is kind of what I'm thinking. What state do we need? Bro, why does Senegal keep undoing and then we're somehow also colonializing? Oh, no progress. Okay, fair. I hate that your interest can disappear and like you stop getting colonial progress and you don't know what's going on because you didn't watch everything perfectly. So once the interest develops, then we will see what state we need. Mexico sides with New Granada. This is an interesting development. So, I mean, what's the pop in California right now? 500K. This has changed into, this has gotten way, I mean, it's super tempting to take Cali. It's a ton of gold. Really good state. Gives us a native interest there. Wait, is Russia siding against us too? What's going on? Why is Russia at war with... The UK is going to be less useful. Shoot. Bro, why do we have this crazy war right at the very end of the stream? We're like gonna need to conscript up really aggressively actually here because I don't know how winnable this is. Wait, what the hell? Russia's fighting the EIC through this? Wait, how is this a front? You're not at war. What? Oh, because the British occupy it? Bro. It's functionally British. What the fuck? Do you have a bunch of turmoil too? No, but you're gonna get it if it gets occupied. No, it's just still occupied by British. So stupid. We're starting a Sokoto run on OPB's Tweaks mod. Saturday afternoon for champs. From what I felt with your playthroughs, I incorporate, for example, Persia. Yeah, I think you definitely incorporate Persia, but most Africa, I use resource and keep high industries in my European states. Yeah, so specifically rubber is going to get shipped anyways, and so you don't necessarily build tall in your rubber places, and so I think rubber and wood places probably play best as leaving incorporated, of which Africa there's a good amount. You fell in the trap and made Mascar a colonial puppet country. You wanted to war, but immediately I had an internal revolt and split in two, so I had to reconquer it. Oof. It's actually been almost a year since I played Vic 3. Now I just watch other people play. That way you don't have to experience the pain yourself. This is a thing. Those Brits love banning slavery. You can take California with a single troop. The Mexico AI is so dumb. Oh, wow. I just don't. I don't know if it's worth the infamy. Also, it makes Mexico hate us. Also, it makes the USA hate us. Because the USA wants to take California. So it would mean fighting the USA a bunch. I think we'd probably rather peel something off of Spain. The problem is, whatever we peel off of Spain would be a ton of infamy. Spain's also not going to completely abandon their home front because of this. Unless they just occupy Gibraltar really fast, which they probably will. We'll see how they play it. We can also go... We can almost for sure take war reps off them. I don't think we're fighting this war this stream, though. So maybe this is a good time to stop, because I was planning on stopping at 1, and it's 2 minutes. But we can kind of talk through some of the thoughts here on this war, kind of in the last little bit, as we're getting ready to, like, finish up here. So the first thing that I, like, well, they might even back down, to be fair. Which would be a preferable outcome, I think. So if they have a good chance of backing down, this means we don't want to put in high infamy war goals on either Mexico or Spain, because we would still, I forget the percentage, I think we still get a quarter of the infamy. So if we put it on Mexico for this, we will get 2.5 infamy no matter what, even if they back down and we don't get to enforce. So I think that we would not want to do that. And so then the question is well, what useful play can we do on Spain? And I think releasing Andalusia is actually going to be what we're going to want to put in on Spain, and then maybe war reps on Spain or war reps on New Granada, or both. I think we could do all three of that. That's probably going to be what the war goals are. As tempting as it is to like want to take the Spanish state, so here let's just save up. So let's save up there. For whatever reason, we have the Brazilian flag. But I'm not sure exactly what state it is, but I just wanted to show the company we're talking about. Won't USA sway with you for California? Won't USA sway for Cali? They don't like us very much. They don't like us enough, even though they're protective. Yeah, I mean, USA should be willing to sway for Mexican states, which we would not mind feeding to them. That's kind of wild that we can't sway them. Why can't we? They don't have a very strong preference. They probably don't like us expanding our reach in New Granada. We were expecting them to want to side with us. The only reason we're making this play is because now that's illegal. They're not allowed to. Man, the diplomacy in this game is stupid. I agree. I think that this is real stupid. The fact that we're just waiting for something like this where we can make it so that they can't do anything about it. Because the USA is trying to, like, maintain supremacy over the Americas, right? And they, like, absolutely would prefer the status quo to this, right? And so, like, it's pretty stupid. I don't know. I think Brazil's helping us out in this war, which is interesting because they're a Dominion. I guess they changed the rules on that. Or, I mean, for a while it seems like they've changed the rules, but I think I remember one situation where they didn't, so now I'm just confused. But I wanted to switch to Spain to take a look at the company before we outro the stream here, because the company is real good. Not the Spanish gold, not the doubloons, but they actually have two really good companies. The one I was thinking is Duro y Campaña, which is interesting. So there's a bunch of companies there's 4 companies I think that are steel, iron, and coal. Really, really strong combo. The throughput's really valuable on these, as is the construction speed. It's like kind of I think it's the best 3 combo in the game, other than maybe the unique Japan Railroad Company. And so just absolutely tremendous. And what's interesting about this one is this has the lowest tech requirement out of any of the 4, and so while the prosperity bonus I don't think is as good as the other ones, you can slot it in, but this requires us to own Asturias. So in theory this is the state we were thinking of taking, is Asturias up here, just so we could get that company. The problem is it would be like 35 infamy or whatever to take a 1 million pop place from Spain, considering they're like a major power. But if we release Iberia, if we release Andalusia is what we're thinking of force releasing here. That'll be pretty good in terms of kneecapping their clout over an extended period of time. Is it possible to release something that has the Asturias, though? Let's take a look. I think the release thing is also bugged currently, where it still only gives you one option, which is stupid. So we might not even have a very good option. So Catalonia is also a decent release in terms of kneecapping them, and Catalonia plus Andalusia really leaves them in a bad spot. Galicia, no, there's Castile, but they can't because the shared capital. Castile would allow for Asturias. Maybe Castile would be an interesting play, or Castile, if you're RPing it properly, it's Castile. Very interesting. Can't wait for the next DLC. Hope they really do something about the diplomacy. I agree. Now it's kind of Russian roulette. You don't know what GP will get a hard on randomly independent. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting Spain to go on us. Although, to be fair, I don't think we have tremendous relations with but yeah, we have bad relations. But Mexico, yeah, well, I don't know what this all is about, to be honest. They also don't have very good stacks for, like, trying to deal with stuff. Do they really just always be on all offense? That's so bad. That kind of explains a lot, though. Yeah, like, the all offense mono infantry army is just, like, not it. And so I think they just... Are they sending... They might just be sending all their army away, in which case we can land them really easy. Same with, like, Mexico. So it's probably just taking war reps from a bunch of people, and then maybe we even want this war to pop off. But that's like, they also have one other company that's fairly good that we could also go for. So not Duro y Campagna, but I think it's this one that gives plus 10% infrastructure. This is an absolutely insane modifier. Also, the one on the railway company in here was nerfed from 10% to 5%, but this one remained 10%, and so this is really good and requires Navarra. So maybe we actually want to release Navarra from them instead of the other thing. That way we could just go after Navarra later. How much pop we got here? What are we talking about? 1.8 mil? So that's going to be really expensive on the infamy front. But we could release and then subjugate Navarra, but this is like a real long-term play. But that would also make some sense too, because I think we would use this over the iron company we're currently using. I think this one's significantly better. We would prefer, like, lead over steel, I think, slightly. But just slightly, because we might slot in a steel company. We'll probably get a steel company at some point anyways. If we don't, then I think I like this better than lead. But 10% infrastructure is just, like, very, very nice modifier, because infrastructure is really expensive. Railways suck really hard. And so, because railways are, the PMs on them are really, really bad, this extra infrastructure allowing you to build fewer railways is very useful. And it also applies to, like, base values and stuff like this. So you had Russia with protected. Russia, in my experience, is like one of the more psychotic ones. Great Britain, like, feels like it's more psychotic. Actually, anything with, like, economic dominance tends to be pretty bad. Economic imperialism tends to be just more psychotic and random, it feels like. And Russia will get it once this guy gets into power. But the UK, like, just has an interest everywhere, which is why the UK is really obnoxious. Yeah, but they'll kick you from the customs union, all this type of stuff. Definitely not ideal. But I think we're going to conclude the stream here, guys. Next time we play these guys, we will pick up this war, which is looking to be... Well, we're kind of locked into the war, because our save file is going to be the war, and we are going to start another run in Papal States. So no matter what happens, this war is going to be going through. Even if we, like, France could end up joining or something like this, which would be... Oh, no, France can't. France can't. That's the entire point. France can't. That's the point here. That's the point. No one else huge can join here, we think. Has interest in the region. I guess Russia could join against us. That would suck. Speak of the Russia or the EIC. No, EIC can't because British is all on our side. So Russia is kind of the only player that could do it that isn't currently involved. That's a big one. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye bye now. Take care, everyone.